Welcome into the Steelers Talk Live show. Thank you to all the real ones that are tuning in at the beginning of today's program. We got a bunch of Steelers content coming your way here on a Thursday. First up, we got the latest Steelers news and rumors. We got a loaded slate of news and rumors to talk about today. Then we'll get into a Bleacher Report, a couple of Bleacher Report articles actually today, where they break down some pre-training camp checklist items for your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to react to that here. Then we'll get into some 2026 QB targets. Aaron Rodgers announced earlier this week that this likely will be his only season in Pittsburgh before he retires. So we look ahead to some options for the Steelers in 2026. Then we'll get into our live Q&A later in today's show. If you got questions, you know the real ones know. All you have to do is put hashtag Steelers along with your question down there in the live chat to get on the mailbag today. And then we'll finish up today's show with the latest entry in our Summer Madden Series, Week 11 versus the Cincinnati Bengals, trying to get some revenge after the 28-10 loss we took to them on Thursday Night Football earlier this season. I'm going to bring on somebody here, guys, that hasn't been on a Steelers Talk Live show since last summer, ever since he became the host of the Baltimore Ravens Rundown here. But with Coop off this week, we have Trader Joey in the producer chair. Trader Joey, welcome back to the show. I think you're a little bit of an enemy of the people here. It's good to have you back on Steelers Talk.
Man, I'm going to say I'm happy to be here. The last time I produced one of these, you've grown a ton. So there's a lot of this audience that has never even seen me or heard me speak. And so I'm glad to be here, whether you hate me or not. I'm here, and I hate you too.
You've talked a lot of shit. You've talked a lot of shit.
I have to. I got to keep the rivalry alive. Football isn't football unless the teams hate each other. That's my favorite part about it.
Yep, so make sure you guys spam those Trader Joeys in the chat. F Trader Joey or just Trader Joey, whichever one that you want. We're appreciative that he's here producing our show today. But the one thing we can both agree on, Joey, is that we hate the fucking Bengals. So hopefully the Pittsburgh Steelers can beat the Bengals in our Madden stream later today. Now, yesterday, Joey produced our video as well, and he made a little bit of a bet here. He's saying, he said if we got 100 new subs on yesterday's video, I could slap him in the face with a tortilla. Unfortunately, we did not get to that 100 new subs number, but he's a glutton for punishment, guys. He wants to get slapped in the face with a tortilla. So every $100 we make via donations today, Super Chat, Venmo, PayPal, that's going to equal one tortilla slap for Trader Joey, the Ravens fan, and every 100 that we get, we are slapping Joey. So if we make 100, it's one slap. If it's $500, we slap him 5 times, all right? So as a group here, if we can get to 100, let's get to that first tortilla slap as soon as we possibly can, especially because not only do you get to work towards that tortilla slap, but we are giving away not only a Steelers Talk hat like we do every single live show, but we are also giving away a Steelers jersey of the winner's choosing at the end of today's live show. If you want an Aaron Rodgers jersey, if you win, it's yours. If you want a DK Metcalf jersey, if you win, it's yours. If you want some raffle tickets, here's how you guys can get it done. $5 raffle tickets via Super Chat, $3 raffle tickets, or 3 raffle tickets for $10, and then you get 10 tickets for a $20 donation. Plus, for a $20 donation, you guys get your name on the Steelers Talk Gong. I've already filled up some names on there already. Hopefully we can get some more here on today's show. Again, every $100 we make today, we are slapping Joey in the face with a tortilla. And if we can get to $100 or $250, we will hit the gong. So appreciate all of your guys' support. If you want to send in your donations via Venmo and or PayPal, we'll double your raffle tickets for the jersey and for the hat today if you guys send in a Venmo or PayPal. You can find me at Jack Sperry on Venmo or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. If you guys don't have any money to donate to the show, but you still want a chance to win the jersey and the hat today, all you have to do is, if you're not following me on Twitter right now, at Jack_Sperry, you give me a follow on X, and you guys will be in today's raffle. So that's where you guys can get your free raffle ticket. And then if you guys just don't want to deal with the Steelers Talk hat raffle, you guys just want to buy one of these hats for yourselves, $50 is the price tag. I don't set those prices, guys. My bosses do. But $50 to just straight up buy a Steelers Talk hat. that we can send to you today if you send in a $50 donation or more. So you guys can get on the show today. We do have a mailbag coming up here. Trader Joey's going to be, getting the questions. And for Trader Joey to see it, you have to put hashtag Steelers down there in the live chat. So, for example, you get down there in the live chat, you go hashtag Steelers. Will the Steelers win the Super Bowl this year? Or whatever question you want. And if you put that in there along with the hashtag Steelers, Trader Joey's going to be able to see it and put it on today's mailbag. Also, if you want a question on today's show and you want to guarantee that question gets on the show today, you guys can super chat any dollar amount, and Trader Joey will make sure to get that question in today's mailbag. So appreciate your guys' support. We got 176 yinzers in the chat right now, so spam those me's in the chat if you have liked the show. We need to get to 50 likes on today's show before we get into our first segment today. So keep spamming those thumbs up icons. We got my beautiful girlfriend Cassie Voth in the chat. We got Ali the Reaper here. Kevin Reed is here. We got Ben. We got Christopher. We got Steelers Dad. We got Sea Dogs. We've got DJ KJ. We got Tristan. We got Ben. We got our first super chat coming in that we'll get to here in just a second. We got Gigi. We've got DJ KJ, Tristan, Michael, Christopher, Joe, Chuck, Kevin, Brian, Robert, Sasha. We got a good crew of Steelers fans ready to talk some Steelers football today. But first, we have our first super chat of the day coming in, and our software is taking some time here to load it up, but we will put it on screen once we have it ready. We got Les McCollum here. Good to see you, Les. Good to see you, man. How are the kids? We got Brian03. We got Brandon in here. Tristan White. GG says GG's hoping everyone's having a good day today. There's Mexamander's $10 super chat. Says, I hope the Steelers re-sign Watt. Also, Steelers should get their number 2 receiver and maybe another good tight end to help Pat Freiermuth. They can win a Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. Trader Joe, you got something there?
Yeah, I've got a hot take that I kind of just realized today, and I'm going to put myself in toucan for this. I feel like with the buzz cut, I'm kind of giving a little Pat Freiermuth.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I think maybe a little bit.
I told Joey this earlier this week, so I think he knows what I'm going to say. He looks like one of the claymation people from a Wallace and Gromit movie with that buzz cut. I don't know what it is. I think it's the shape of his head.
I'm going away again.
See ya, Joey. Joey doesn't want to be on camera because we're going to roast him. But we're going to get into our first segment of the day here, guys. Click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. Get those super chats in. Help us get to $100 so we can slap Joey in the face of the tortilla today. But we got a bunch of great content coming your way here today. So without further ado, let's get into our first segment of the day, which is the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today we got a bunch of great Steelers content to cover on today's show. First up, should the Steelers consider trading for this former teammate of Aaron Rodgers to fill their number 2 wide receiver spot? We'll be breaking down that player here in just one moment. Also, Jay Glazer and Big Ben Roethlisberger talk about Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers and why they think it is going to work. And then also, Pro Football Focus ranked the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line number 1 in the National Football League. I'll kind of break down the defensive line here in Pittsburgh and why I agree with them that this is the best unit in the league. And then we'll finish up today's show with Mina Kimes from ESPN saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a big problem with the Baltimore Ravens. We'll talk about that at the end of today's program, so make sure you guys stick around to see what the problem is with the Ravens apparently when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But first, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Our goal for this month is to finish the month of June with 86,500 subscribers here on Steelers Talk. Right now, we're less than 50 subscribers away from hitting that goal, guys. So at the beginning of today's video, I'm going to have a shameless plug here. Please click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I know every single YouTuber that you click a video on is asking you, that they want you to click that subscribe button. But we give you guys free, informative, and in-depth Steelers content every single day. So if you love the black and gold, you want daily updates, the best way to make sure you see our videos every day is to click that subscribe button. So thank you guys guys so much for all of your support. And with that, let's get into our first topic of the day, which is whether or not the Pittsburgh Steelers should consider trading for second-year wide receiver Malachi Corley, who spent his rookie season with Aaron Rodgers on the New York Jets last year. Corley's only 23 years old. He's got excellent frame, excellent play strength at 215 pounds, good run blocker. The Steelers showed a lot of interest in Corley as a mid-round wide receiver prospect last year in the NFL draft. Arthur Smith seemed to be quite infatuated with him. And of course, he played with Aaron Rodgers last year, so he does have some of that established chemistry with the new Steelers starting quarterback. He's somebody that's known as a quote-unquote Deebo Samuel type of wide receiver, where he's a bigger guy, he's athletic, and he can really do some great stuff after the catch. That's what he was known for at Western Kentucky before he ended up being drafted by the Jets last year. But last year was a tough year for Corley because he only had 83 snaps in the Jets offense, and he had a hard time getting on the same page with Aaron Rodgers, which might be a reason why Rodgers may not want him here in Pittsburgh. But he is somebody that, going into year two, maybe he's picked up some things. I think he needed to work a little bit on his route running coming in, and he just didn't really get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers last year. But maybe after a whole season working with him, he's developed some of that chemistry, and Rodgers would be cool bringing in somebody that could be a real, a manufactured touch type of guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Corley is an intriguing skill set. I thought he had some pretty darn good ball skills there with Western Kentucky his final season there, along with the fact that he was among the leaders in the country in missed tackles forced. He's just an absolute freight train out there as a rack threat. So, the Steelers don't really have a true, manufactured touch type of guy where you throw those wide receiver screens to. That's a big part of Aaron Rodgers' game, is that, pre-snap, if he sees something where he can get a quick screen out to get a nice, decent chunk, he's going to audible and make that happen. So having a guy like Corley, who's a big body, a good run blocker, somebody that can be that manufactured touch type of screen type of wide receiver, might be a welcomed addition to Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin III, and of course DK Metcalf in the Steelers wide receiver room. But I think if the Steelers are going to trade for a New York Jets wide receiver, I think the guy Rodgers probably would prefer is Allen Lazard. Rodgers and Lazard have a very extensive relationship together. Of course, they played last year together in New York, and they played for multiple seasons in Green Bay as well. So, because of Corley's lack of production with Rodgers last year, I would say probably Rodgers would prefer to play with Lazard, who played quite a bit for the Jets last season, as opposed to the guy that never really got that connection working with him in New York. So pick your Rodgers guy. Out of these three receivers that have played with Rodgers before, that are gettable for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which one would you rather add to the team? Would you rather add Romeo Doubs for a 5th-round pick, type RD if you'd rather get him, type AL for Allen Lazard for a 7th-round pick, or if you'd rather get Malachi Corley for a 7th-round pick, type MC down there in the comment section. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know which receiver, former Rodgers receiver, you would like to see here in Pittsburgh. Speaking of Rodgers, Jay Glazer, who, by the way, is very close with Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, and former Steelers quarterback Big Ben Roethlisberger, had some kind words to say about Aaron Rodgers going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and both of these gentlemen think that it's going to work in the Steel City this year. We'll start with what Glazer had to say on the Jim Rome Show yesterday, saying, I think it's a perfect match. I told Aaron this, and I told people in the Steelers, I said there was only 2 places I think Aaron could go and win a Super Bowl with, and that's with Sean McVay, but that couldn't happen because Stafford came back, and it's with Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith. And then Big Ben Roethlisberger had this to say about Rodgers going to the Steelers. I think you will get a better Aaron this year. Even though you're older, I think you will get a better Aaron this year than you did last year, just because the thought process of the Achilles. What can I do? What can I not do? I don't think he will think about it at all. It will be exciting for Aaron and exciting for fans to see. So 2 key points from these 2 kind of excerpts from both Glazer and Big Ben here that I want to kind of talk about today. Number 1, Pittsburgh feels like they can win it all with Aaron Rodgers. This is not just a situation where it's like, oh, we're bringing in Rodgers to win 10 games and lose in the playoffs. No, they feel like Rodgers is that Super Bowl level upgrade for them. And then the second thing that they kind of feel like like here is that Rodgers' health is a big reason for optimism. It's the second year coming off that Achilles. Also, last year he dealt with other nagging injuries that we'll talk about here in just a second. But if Pittsburgh can give Rodgers the proper support system around him, I absolutely believe that this team has a chance to contend and be up there with the best teams in the National Football League and be up there with the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens and be right up with those guys, because I think this defense is going to be excellent. I think this run game is going to be much improved. Hopefully the offensive line is improved as well. And I think Rodgers is the perfect kind of skill set to play that game manager role to help this team be the best it can possibly be. And I'm excited to see what a fully healthy Aaron Rodgers is going to look like for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. All right, this guy has not been fully healthy for pretty much 3 straight seasons. All right, he broke his thumb back in Green Bay back in 2022, played on broken thumb for most of the season, and then got really hot late, almost led them to a playoff berth. Then of course 2023 tore that Achilles, and then last year it was a complete dumpster fire organizationally for the Jets while he was dealing with a nagging hamstring issue and an ankle issue and a knee issue, while all that while recovering from an Achilles tear at 41 years old. So this is the healthiest we have seen Aaron Rodgers. And personally, guys, I am really excited to see what the 4-time NFL MVP is going to be able to do in a stable organization here in Pittsburgh and with pretty decent help around him here in the Steel City. So still to come here on Steelers Talk, Pro Football Focus has ranked the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line as the best unit in the National Football League. I'll tell you guys why I agree with that here in just a second. Then Mina Kimes from ESPN says that Pittsburgh has a big problem specifically with the Baltimore Ravens. We'll talk about that at the end of today's show. But first, let's have word from our sponsor today at Fanatics, where you guys can go chatsports.com/AR8 to pick up your Pittsburgh Steelers Aaron Rodgers jersey today. This is definitely going to be an interesting ride here, guys. So go to chatsports.com/AR8. You click that link and you make a purchase. Fanatics sends us part of the proceeds from your order. So if you're planning on getting a Rodgers Steelers jersey anyway, and you want to help out the channel while doing so, all you have to do is use our link, chatsports.com/AR8, and make a purchase today. Now on to Pro Football Focus here, where they have put out their new defensive line rankings during the preseason of the 2025 NFL draft, or of the 2025 NFL season, and they have ranked the Pittsburgh Steelers ahead of teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, Houston Texans, Buffalo Bills, and more as the league's best defensive line. And you guys kind of know that I've been saying this all throughout the offseason, that I think when you have TJ Watt fully healthy, I think that this is the best defensive line unit in the league. And frankly, it was last year. And then not only do you have everybody returning from last year that made this such a great pass rush when TJ Watt was healthy, but also you are adding a first-round pick to this unit in Oregon's Derek Harmon, who is going to be an absolute disruptor from the interior as well. So you take a look last year at the starting defensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers and where they ranked among Pro Football Focus rankings last year at their given position. Okay, the lowest is Keanu Benton, who was a top 30 player at his position. Everybody else was in the top 8. Alex Highsmith was 8. Cam Hayward was the second highest ranked defensive tackle. And then TJ Watt was the third highest ranked outside linebacker. And he was number 1 in the league before he had that ankle injury versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And this isn't even mentioning the best rotational pass rusher in the National Football League. That's Nick Herbig for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also had a PFF grade of over 80, which ranks 17th among almost 120 NFL edge rushers last year. So even in the reserves, the Pittsburgh Steelers are absolutely fantastic on this unit. And, people ask me all the time, Jack, how can the Pittsburgh Steelers compete with the top NFL teams with elite quarterbacks? Teams like the Patrick Mahomeses, teams with the Josh Allens of the world, teams with the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the teams with the Joe Burrows of the world. How can the Steelers compete and expect to win in the postseason against these football teams when they don't have a top 4 quarterback in the National Football League right now? Well, the answer to that question and the Steelers' hope is that they're going to be able to do what the Eagles did to teams like this in the NFL postseason. The Eagles dominated the Kansas City Chiefs because they consistently put pressure on that elite quarterback. And the Steelers are hoping that once playoff time comes around, they're going to have this ravenous defensive line that is the best in the National Football League to absolutely obliterate guys like Patrick Mahomes, guys like Josh Allen, guys like Lamar Jackson, and guys like Joe Burrow, the top 4 quarterbacks in the National Football League. They are hoping that this defensive line is so good that it's going to lower the impact that these quarterbacks can have, and they're hoping Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers' offense is good enough to offset that and make this a legit Super Bowl contender heading into the 2025 season. So true or false? Let me know down there in the comments section. The Steelers have the best pass rush in the NFL right now heading into the 2025 season. Type T if you think that is true, not Trey, true. And type F Trader Joey in the chat. He's sabotaging our show here, but type F for false down there in the comments section. Our final topic on today's edition of News and Rumors, Mina Kimes from ESPN says that the Steelers have a quote-unquote Ravens problem here. I'm quite skeptical of this, but let's see what Mina has to say. I would argue that the Steelers' defense basically just had a Baltimore Ravens problem because the last time we saw them, they were just getting absolutely demolished, run over by the Baltimore Ravens. When the Steelers played teams that were not the Baltimore Ravens, they allowed 3.8 yards per carry. The Ravens averaged 6 yards per carry. So, I would kind of counter this, Mina, by saying that the problem wasn't that the Steelers' defense had a problem. The problem was T.J. Watt was playing hurt the final 2 times that the Steelers played the Baltimore Ravens, the 2 times where this rushing attack from Baltimore absolutely obliterated the Pittsburgh Steelers. But when T.J. Watt was healthy the one time that these 2 teams matched up, the Pittsburgh Steelers won their matchup in Week 11 during the 2024 season at Acrisure Stadium, and they held that Baltimore Ravens offense to just 16 points, okay? So when you have T.J. Watt on the field and healthy, the Ravens don't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, all right? Throughout Lamar Jackson's entire career, the only time the Ravens have beaten a T.J. Watt team where T.J. has been fully healthy was back, I think, during 2018. He's only done it once, okay? So I don't think that the Steelers defense has a Lamar Jackson or Baltimore Ravens problem. I think Lamar Jackson actually has the Pittsburgh Steelers problem because you look at his stats when T.J. Watt is healthy and on that field attacking him, his numbers are 55% completion percentage, more interceptions than touchdowns, an insanely high sack rate. All right, I don't think the Steelers have the Ravens problem. I think when T.J. Watt is healthy, the Ravens definitely have that Steelers problem. But be honest with me down there in the comments section. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers have a quote-unquote Ravens problem? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Give me a yes or a no down there in the comments section, and that'll be it. Or actually, no, this is not going to be it. I got one more item for you guys here, and this is something that has been floating around Steelers Twitter over the last several hours and days here. But George Pickens, new Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, former Steelers wide receiver, had planned a football camp for kids in Pittsburgh, and even after he was traded to the Cowboys, he kept telling the organizers of this event that he was going to show up. But now we are just days away from the start of the event, and he has flaked on the kids of Pittsburgh. But hey, good news. Pat Freiermuth, a great guy, should be team captain of the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, comes up and he is stepping up in the spot of George Pickens. So that just shows you the kind of character Pat is, on short notice to be able to step up for the kids of Pittsburgh. It's absolutely fantastic, and maybe just another reason why it's a good thing George Pickens isn't a Pittsburgh Steeler anymore. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got more Steelers content coming your way throughout the weekend, guys. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. And until tomorrow, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, first segment in the books here, Mr. Joey. But coming up next, we got Bleacher Report's pre-camp checklist for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talk to you a little bit about your Ravens there, Joey. Do you think the Steelers have a Ravens problem?
No, not necessarily. I think they could. I mean, the way it was trending, and I get it, Watt wasn't healthy, but those last 2 games, they were pretty much never in doubt for the entirety of them.
Yep, no question.
And so it could be trending that way. Look, T.J. Watt has been hurt for a couple of them, and they didn't, because of that, Pittsburgh didn't play too well. Lamar's been hurt for a couple of them as well. He hasn't played the Steelers.
But even when he's in, he doesn't win unless TJ's hurt. He's beaten a healthy T.J. Watt 1 time in his career.
Yeah, but also, like last season, you think of the game in Pittsburgh, Justin Tucker missed 3 field goals that game.
Fair.
Lamar drove them down to score at the very end, had the 2-point conversion to tie it. Obviously, they didn't get it there, but a few things bounce a different way. I get it's football, it's a game of inches. You could say that about anything, but I think it's a little bit, I don't think either team has either team problem. I think it's just a really good rivalry with good players.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But we got more content coming your way. Got some super chats to get to here. Robert Locke, my man, says, here we go. Much love, channel supporters. So that's another 10, getting us closer to your tortilla slap there, Trader Joey. And then we got a 20 from my man Alex L. Says, let's go Steelers. Alex, you're already on the gong, but that's even more raffle tickets to potentially get you a Steelers jersey at the end of today's show. Appreciate all of your guys' support. If you guys want to get in on the raffle, we're giving away not only a Steelers Talk hat, but also a Steelers jersey of the winner's choosing today on the show. So $5 gets you in, $10 gets you 3 raffle tickets, $20 gets you 10 tickets for every 20 you put in. Plus you get your name on the gong. Every 100 we make on today's show, we slap the crap out of Trader Joey in the face with a tortilla. And then 250, if we can get to that 250 mark, we will bang the gong on today's show. And if you want to double your chances of winning the jersey and or the hat, you guys can send in a Venmo or PayPal at Jack Sperry on Venmo, money sign Captain Jackrabbit on PayPal. And then if you guys want a free raffle ticket, just one free raffle ticket, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry if you haven't already. So thank you guys so much for sending in those donations, following me on Twitter, all that different stuff. But we are going to get into our next segment here. Bleacher Report has come up with a couple of articles here going over a checklist for before training camp, essentially, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to cover that here in just one moment. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today, we're going to be covering a couple of Bleacher Report articles. First up, they've put out a list of 3 pre-training camp to-dos that the Steelers need to accomplish before they get to Latrobe. And then they list out their best and worst case scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I'm going to be reacting to both of their articles on today's edition of the show. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you want to help out the channel today, it really does help us out, guys. Click that thumbs up icon, and a lot of people do that, then YouTube's going to, say, hey, lots of people are liking this video. Let's push this video out to more Steelers fans like yourselves. So if you guys want to help us out, it takes a half second of your time. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. And with that, let's get into the show here, starting with Bleacher Report's pre-camp training to do. So they listed number 3, number 2, number 1. We'll start with number 3, which is to sort out the running back backfield rotation, okay? This article was written by Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report, who had this to say about the Steelers running back situation. Arthur Smith needs to figure out a new backfield rotation after losing Najee Harris in free agency, although he'll have plenty of options from which to choose. Jaylen Warren and Cordero Patterson are back, and the Steelers added Kenneth Gainwell and rookie third-round pick Caleb Johnson. Now, I think that Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren are going to be an absolutely fantastic duo, guys. And I do think that this thing is going to be sorted out in camp and early in the year. And it really is going to depend on just how ready Caleb Johnson is for NFL ball. Okay, I think that right now the preferred roles that Arthur Smith would love to see these guys kind of eventually get to is that your early down back where, you're in your under center formations. The defense doesn't know if you're running or throwing the football. That's when Caleb Johnson is in there. Because, he doesn't have a ton of experience being a receiving back, and he's not the best in terms of pass protection at this point. But the good news is Jaylen Warren is excellent at those two things, and he's one of the better third down backs in the National Football League. So to have that kind of rotation there and that kind of split workload of Caleb Johnson being in there on early downs in run-heavy situations, etc., and then have Jaylen Warren come in more ambiguous situations and in more pass-heavy situations, I think that is eventually the rotation that we are eventually going to see. And I think that this rotation has a chance to be a pretty special running back duo because I consider Jaylen Warren one of the best third down backs in the league, if not the best. And then Caleb Johnson, with his scheme fit, with his vision, with his explosiveness, with his size, he could be a really, really good early down back as early as this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It could be one of the best running back duos in all of football. Then we get to the number 2 thing that Bleacher Report says the Steelers need to do before training camp, and that is extend T.J. Watt. And this is what we have been praising from, or has been exclaiming from the mountaintops here on Steelers Talk here over the last several weeks. This is what Knox had to say about the former Defensive Player of the Year. Omar Khan should be working on an extension for star pass rusher T.J. Watt. The 30-year-old is entering the final year of his contract, is looking for a new deal, and decided to skip mandatory minicamp. Watt is also set to carry a cap hit of $30.4 million in 2025, which pales in comparison to top edge rushers like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. He's deserving of a new deal, and the Steelers should get one done before camp. Now, listen, guys, there's no question that this needs to be Pittsburgh's number one priority. I don't know why Bleacher Report has this as the number two priority. The Steelers need to do this, all right? Because if they don't have TJ Watt on their team, it's just plain and simple, guys. They cannot win a Super Bowl this year without TJ Watt on the field. Point blank, period. They can't do it without him, okay? And, all you have to do is look at the numbers for the Steelers defense when he's on the field versus when he's not on the field, all right? This team wins less than 10% of their games when TJ Watt is not on the field, all right? That just shows you the massive impact that TJ Watt, with his forced fumbles, with even some interceptions, with the sack production and the TFL production, brings to the Steelers defense. They win 2/3 of their games when he is playing, and that is with guys like Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky at quarterback, right? Not only does the defense give up, a touchdown less per game when he's in the game, but the offense also produces more when he's on the field because the offense has better field position to work with because of Watt's impact on the defensive side of the ball. The team also has significantly more sacks per game when Watt is out there, and then also way more turnovers per game when he is out there. And if you think that, that was just, in the past, that's not the case anymore, let's take a look at what TJ did last year when he was healthy versus after he got that injury to his ankle in Week 14 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Steelers didn't win a single football game after he was playing injured versus before he was healthy, where once again the Steelers were winning 2/3 of their football games, and in fact they won all 4 of their playoff opponent games before he got injured. Also, that you guys can see the impact on the offense and the defensive side of the ball, giving up 10 more points per game on the defensive side of the ball before the injury versus after the injury. And obviously the sacks and turnovers per game numbers absolutely go down after the injury happened. So extending TJ Watt is absolutely paramount, guys. And the fact that Bleacher Report is making that the number 2 priority at this point, not number 1, is kind of a joke in my opinion. And the number 1 priority, according to Bleacher Report, for the Steelers before training camp is to get new quarterback Aaron Rodgers up to speed. All right, Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report, this is his case for making Rodgers the number 1 priority this offseason. While the Steelers still lack their quarterback of the future, they have their signal caller for the current season. Head coach Mike Tomlin and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith now need to spend the next few weeks crafting an offense that plays to Rodgers' strengths. Tomlin and Smith also need to have a plan for getting Rodgers up to speed as quickly as possible. Part of the problem for Rodgers last year was that he wasn't in sync with the rest of the Jets' offense early in the year. After missing most of Pittsburgh's offseason program, Rodgers has some catching up to do. Now, guys, I'm not too worried about this, okay? First of all, I'll just point out that, the Steelers didn't get caught off guard by Aaron Rodgers signing with them. They have been crafting that offense ever since, March, essentially, for Aaron Rodgers. So the fact that they're saying that they need to put together an offense at this point, it's like it's already been done, all right? Maybe Rodgers put some concepts in there that weren't in the playbook before that he likes, but the offense is pretty much already crafted to fit the strengths and weaknesses of Aaron Rodgers, so that part of the offseason is already done. But 3 reasons why I'm not too worried about Rodgers, picking up the playbook here is that, number 1, he's going to have those throwing sessions with his wide receivers in LA this offseason before we get to Latrobe. So all that time that he missed during Steelers OTAs this year, it's going to be made up for with these throwing sessions in Malibu over the next several weeks. And then also he ran a very similar style of offense, especially, language-wise. It's very similar, Shanahan-style language from Arthur Smith's offense versus the Matt LaFleur offense. And then also Rodgers has an elite brain, all right? He's one of the best mental processors in the history of the National Football League, can retain information extremely well and quickly. So I'm really not too worried about Rodgers picking up the offense, guys. This should not be number 1 on the priority list for the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's probably going to happen, right? So coming up now, let's talk about my 3 offseason to-do list items for the Steelers because I don't like Bleacher Report's list. All due respect to Christopher Knox, but let's go over mine here, and we'll start with my number 3 priority before training camp, which is to add a nickel corner. With all due respect to Beanie Bishop Jr., he made some big plays in some big spots, some big-time interceptions, including picking off Aaron Rodgers twice in that game against the Jets, but he was a bit of a liability in coverage, and it is the weak spot on the Steelers defense right now. There are still 2 veteran corners that the Steelers could potentially add to this defense. Jalen Ramsey, who the team has been connected to in trade talks in recent weeks, would be an excellent addition. He's one of the best nickel defenders in all of football. And then Mike Hilton was an absolute stud in this Steelers defense before he ended up going to the Cincinnati Bengals. One of the best blitzing slot corners in the league, a good run defender, physical as all get out. And I would love to see him back in the black and gold, one of my favorite all-time Steelers players because of the very unique role that he played in this defense. He was essentially like a sixth edge rusher for this defense when he was here in Pittsburgh. My number 2 item that the Steelers need to do before training camp is you need to add another weapon to this wide receiver room before the start of training camp to help bolster this wide receiver group that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to work with. You got DK Metcalf. That move is great, but Roman Wilson, completely unproven. All right, they have high hopes for him this year, but, if you're going into a win-now season, I don't know if you want to go into the year, expecting big things and really requiring big things from somebody that hasn't proven a lick in the National Football League. And Calvin Austin III, I think, is a good player, really good number 3 receiver, but he's not a run blocker, so I don't know if he can fill that number 2 role in Arthur Smith's offense. So there are some realistic wide receiver targets out there that you guys should be keeping your eyes on. Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks, the team has apparently called the Packers regarding their availability. Romeo Doubs has played with Aaron Rodgers before. He played his rookie season with Rodgers in Green Bay back in 2022. Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis, those are the 3 top free agent wide receivers. I would say Amari Cooper is probably the most likely out of those 3 to be signed by the Steelers, but then some other names to keep your eye on. Trey Palmer and Jalen McMillan from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They restocked that wide receiver room in Tampa Bay with Emeka Egbuka and Tez Johnson in the NFL draft this year. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are returning. They might be willing to let go of one of those 2 guys. Adam Thielen, somebody the Steelers were very high on and were pursuing at the NFL trade deadline last year. Couldn't get a deal done now, but after drafting Tedoror McMillan, that could certainly be a possibility. And then John Mechie, good route runner, good run blocker, somebody that is definitely getting buried on the Texans depth chart right now. And then Alan Lazard, somebody with a lot of chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, could certainly be an option as well. I'll also say, guys, keep your eye out for Jonnu Smith. He has been connected to the Steelers in trade talks over the last several weeks. Apparently, he's looking for a new contract. And of course, he's Arthur Smith's guy. So watch out for Jonnu Smith as a potential option as well. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comments section. Which offensive weapon, if any, do you think that the Pittsburgh Steelers add to this team before training camp? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section, what you guys think is going to happen. Then we get to my number 1 priority before training camp. I said it earlier in the show. It's extend TJ Watt. And because we talked about it earlier in the show, I'm not going to go too much into that. But yeah, Omar Khan, if you're not going to do anything else this offseason, please, please, please extend TJ Watt. So coming up here on Steelers Talk, the best and worst case scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense heading into the 2025 season, according to Bleacher Report and myself. But before we get into the final section of today's show, make sure you click that thumbs up icon if you didn't do it at the beginning of today's show. I know it's a little annoying, man, like me coming out here a second time asking you to click that thumbs up icon, but it really does help us out. So if you're enjoying our content today, make sure you tell the YouTube algorithm by clicking that thumbs up icon. So we'll start here with the best case scenario for the Steelers offense this year, according to Bleacher Report, which they say it's something close to Aaron Rodgers in the 2021 season shows up for the Steelers this year. This article is written by Alex Ballantyne, who says Aaron Rodgers isn't the long-term answer for the Steelers, but he certainly raises the ceiling for the unit in 2025. He is 42. Actually, he's 41. He's going to be 42, but he was still one of the better deep ball throwers in the league last season. The problem is that Rodgers' ability to hit the intermediate parts of the field were nearly non-existent. The last time we saw him really be able to hit that part of the field was in 2021 when he threw for 37 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Pittsburgh is breaking in a lot of new parts with DK Metcalf and rookie Caleb Johnson replacing George Pickens and Najee Harris. A solid season from Rodgers would allow the Steelers to be at least be a middle-of-the-pack offense and a bridge to the next quarterback. I think that this is the first time that Rodgers has been fully healthy since 2021. So the idea that he could get back to closer to that form versus what we've seen from him in 2022 and 2024 with the Packers and Jets respectively is within the realm of possibilities. Now, do I think he's going to win league MVP? No, that is not what I think in the cards for Aaron Rodgers. I think he can be a very good quarterback, like a borderline top 10 level quarterback, but there's definitely some limitations to his game at this point that prevent him from being a truly elite passer, in my opinion. So my best case scenario for the Steelers offense this year, I think that the run game is actually more important than the passing game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Arthur Smith's identity. And if this run game can become one of the best in the NFL behind Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren, not to mention this young and promising offensive line. I think that Rodgers can provide stability and give this offense, a real identity that they can really complement a dominant defense with heading into this season and hopefully going into the playoffs with a chance to really do some damage. And of course, what you need to have a great run game is you got to have an offensive line that can move the line of scrimmage. The Steelers haven't had that in multiple seasons, and you got to have a high-end running back or two in your offense to run behind them. I think that this year the Steelers offensive line has a lot of question marks. Okay, Broderick Jones moving over to the left side. Is he going to be better than what he was at right tackle? He needs to be if he wants to keep that spot for the long term. Mason McCormick heading into his second year. That's a big question mark. I really like his talent, but he is still relatively unproven. And Troy Fautano, I have no doubts about when he's on the field, but the question is injuries. Can he stay on the field despite some chronic knee issues? So if they can answer those three questions in an affirmative manner, this offensive line truly has the potential to be one of the best in the National Football League this year. But then you look at the running back room, and it's kind of similar. I think that, Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren have a chance to be a really good group and really good duo for the Steelers, especially if that offensive line can create rushing lanes for them. I also like the depth that they have this year. Kenneth Gainwell, I think, is a really good third back in this rotation as well. So if they can do all those things, and then that's going to open up things for Aaron Rodgers here to do his job, which is to pretty much play game manager that occasionally elevates the team, right? Take care of the football, don't throw interceptions, get the ball out fast and limit sacks, two things Russell Wilson and Justin Fields did not do last year, and then make a big throw when needed at times, on a 3rd and long or a 2-minute drill. Make a big throw from time to time, and I think his numbers last year at the Jets prove that he's still capable of doing these 4 things, all right? He got rid of the football quickly. He took care of the football like he always has in his NFL career. He took less sacks, far less sacks in terms of a percentage of dropbacks compared to Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And his big-time throw percentage, I think he was top 10 in total big-time throws last year. So I think that Aaron Rodgers is more than capable of playing this role that the Steelers have brought him in to play. And, last year, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, all right, over 3,800 yards and a 63% completion percentage. You want to know the last time that a Steelers quarterback had that exact stat line in all those 4 major categories? It was in 2014 with a prime Big Ben Roethlisberger, okay? They had an 11-5 record that year, and everybody considered the Steelers a legit Super Bowl contender when they had a quarterback put up that stat line. And that's not even taking into account that that Rodgers was in a terrible organizational structure last year with the Jets, firing their head coach and their OC mid-season, a bad offensive line, okay? No run game, a terrible defense after Robert Saleh got fired, all right? He's in a more stable situation now, and if he just repeats the same stat line that he had in New York last year, it is the best Steelers quarterback season, arguably, since that 2014 season from Big Ben Roethlisberger. So true or false? Let me know down there in the comment section. Pittsburgh will have an above-average offense this year with Aaron Rodgers leading the way. Type T if you think that's true, or type F if you think that's false. Let me know what you guys think about the new Steelers starting quarterback and this offense led by him this year. Now we're on to the worst-case scenario, according to Bleacher Report here, where they say the worst-case scenario is that Aaron Rodgers looks like last year's version of Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets. Ballantyne said this about the worst-case scenario for Pittsburgh. The Jets found out over the last 2 years how scary it is to rely on Rodgers at this stage in his career. He only played 1 game in 2023 before a ruptured Achilles ended his season. He stayed healthy in 2024, but his limitations didn't help the offense rise above league average. The worst case is that he is an even more watered-down version for the Steelers. That could leave Metcalf with a frustrating first year in Pittsburgh and an offense that doesn't allow its young guys to develop. Now, I'm just going to correct Alex on this one point here because it's something that not a lot of people realize, but Rodgers was not healthy in 2024. Not only was he still recovering from an Achilles tear, okay, it usually takes about 2 years to fully recover from that, but he had a partial tear in his hamstring for most of the season. He also was dealing with a low ankle sprain and an MCL knee sprain, all right? So that is quite a sleuth of things that you have to deal with physically, and it was part of the reason why he wasn't very mobile last year. Now at 41, going to be 42 years old this year, I don't think his mobility is what it once was, but I do think it's going to be better than it was last year for the New York Jets. I think he's going to be a lot healthier than what he was last year with New York. And now, in my opinion, guys, the worst case scenario for the Steelers offense really doesn't have much to do with Aaron Rodgers yet again. I think it once again lies with the offensive line. If they fail to develop, and this is once again a bad unit for the Steelers, it's going to significantly significantly hinder how good this offense can be. If Broderick Jones sucks at the left tackle spot and Aaron Rodgers is always looking over his shoulder to see if there's pressure coming on his blind side, that's going to be a major problem. If Mason McCormick continues his struggles that he had in his rookie season, that's going to be a major issue. If Troy Fautanu gets injured again because he's got chronic knee issues, once again, you're going to be turning to your swing tackle. In this case, it would be Calvin Anderson to fill that role, and that's not looking good if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I really do think that the biggest X factor for the Steelers offense this year, whether it's going to be successful or not, it's not Aaron Rodgers, guys. It's this young, promising, but unproven offensive line and whether or not they take that next step to become a truly elite unit this year. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comment section. Will the Pittsburgh Steelers have a top, or fill in the blank for me, actually. Pittsburgh will have a top blank offense in the NFL this year. Will it be top 5, top 10, top 15? Are they going to stink? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. That'll be it for today's edition of Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end with me here today. Really do appreciate your guys' support. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. Second segment in the books here, Trader Joey. We got a couple more Super Chats I saw. We also got a Venmo and a PayPal. Got 2 of them. All right, I'll send them your way here, Joey.
Please do. And I'll put the $5 up right now.
Sounds good. So $5 from Michael Vitti if you want to read that, Joey.
All righty, Michael Vitti with a $5 super chat saying, thanks for everything you do for us, Jack and Joey, especially Joey. We appreciate it.
Especially Joey. All he does is talk shit about this team, man. Especially Joey.
He says, especially Joey. He's so handsome and also looks like Pat Fryer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Michael, appreciate the 5, man. Joey was putting words in your mouth. F Joey in the chat. But Michael, appreciate you. You are in the raffle today, my friend.
Did you send those my way?
Oh, no. I sent it to Jack. My bad. I saw the J.
I just get stereotyped.
Man.
Us J names.
All right. I'm sending it to you now.
There we go.
F Jack in the chat. Okay. Do we have any more Super Chats?
No, that was it.
That was it, just the 5? All right. Trent Latham coming in with a 20. Won the Steelers Talk hat on Monday. Hoping to win another raffle here with a $20 Venmo. And Joey, you are in trouble, my friend, because we just passed $100 with C.J. Ross. Bang!
Damn it!
F the Ravens. F the Ravens. F the Ravens. So that's, I believe, 60 raffle entries for C.J. Ross there, because it's 10 for each 20, and it's 20 because it's Venmo, so that's 20 times 3, so 60 raffle entries for C.J. Ross with the $60 Venmo. All right, we just got another Venmo here. Oh, Joey, they're coming in hot, man.
Okay, we also got a super chat I'll throw up there while we're waiting to get that in.
By the way, every time Joey's been the producer of a show on Steelers Talk, we've made at least $1,000 in donations.
That's true.
So if we make $1,000 today, that's 10 slaps for Joey, and it might be R.I.P. Jeffrey Cooperstein. I mean, we'll see.
Have fun hosting Ravens.
Have fun posting Ravens, Coop. $5 from Robert Locke says we are 1,000 times better. OFF without Trader Joanne. Trader Josephine in the chat. $10 from my man Captain Kirk Crater. He says, Joey, the name for a baby kangaroo and a traitor too.
And he rhymed.
Yeah, and he rhymed.
I got to give it to Kirk. That was a bar.
Kirk, I think you're a poet and you don't even know it, brother. You don't even know
brother. What's that from?
I don't know.
It's
my mom used to always say it though.
It was in a TV show or is in a movie. I want to say it's like it's
maybe an old movie or something.
I'm not sure. All right, I'll come up next, C. Sperry.
I don't have my tortilla though.
Okay, do you want me to go get it?
Yeah, go get a tortilla. We'll slap them. Again, guys, every 100 that we get today is a slap for Trader Joey. Now, Joey is like never the producer of the show. All right, he's busy doing Ravens and all the other stuff that he does here at Chat Sports. This is your one chance to slap the Ravens host on this channel. Every 100 that we get, we are slapping Joey. He's currently getting the tortilla for the first slap of the day. How far away are we from? So we got 80, 90 plus 50. So we're about $60 away from another slap. Just so you guys know, we're about $60 away from the next slap of Trader Joey. And we will wait for Joey to come back. By the way, coming up next, we've got another segment coming up here, which is, what is the next segment here, actually? Our next segment coming up is quarterback targets for the 2026 offseason. Aaron Rodgers did say on the Pat McAfee show this week that he expects this year to be his one and only season in Pittsburgh. So today I'll be breaking down all the top options for the Steelers at the quarterback position next offseason to kind of take an early look at what is going to be a very interesting storyline heading into next offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Joey's back. Yeah. Sounds good. So we're going to slap Joey. He's going to catch up on raffle tickets, and then we'll keep it going. I'm going to make this quick, okay?
Yeah, double, no shot.
What? You want
okay.
It's one.
Okay.
Would you?
You got two.
The accuracy's better like this, okay? There we go. First.
It's been a while.
Joey did not like that. He flinched a little bit. You know, the thing about these tortillas, shout out to Cassie. They're like they're the burrito ones, so they're very sturdy. So they don't so they don't break. Joey just says shout out to Cassie. Coming up later in the show, guys, Joey's going to catch up on some raffle ticket stuff before we get into our next segment here. Keep those super chats and those Venmos and those PayPals flowing. But later in today's show, we will be doing a mailbag. So if you have a Steelers question you want to get on the show, use hashtag Steelers down there in the live chat along with your question. Or if you want to guarantee your question gets on the show today, you guys can send in a super chat, and Trader Joey will be forced to put your question on today's show. We are also giving away a Steelers Talk hat and a Steelers jersey of the winner's choosing today at the end of the show. And it's all going to be one big pot, one big spinning wheel to see who wins the jersey and who wins the hat. So if you guys want raffle tickets for both raffles, one raffle ticket is $5. $10, you get 3 raffle tickets. $20, you guys get 10 tickets plus your name on the Steelers Talk Gong that we hit every time we get to $250 on a stream. Right now we are, I believe, $50 away from the next tortilla slap, just so you guys know. And if you put in a 50, if someone puts in a 50 right now, they are going to automatically win one of these Steelers Talk hats, all right? So if you guys want to send in that 50 to help us get to $200 dollars in donations on the day, and you want to slap Trader Joey one more time, not to mention get a bunch more raffle tickets to potentially win a Steelers jersey today, you guys can send in any dollar amount. We really do appreciate it. It's not required by any stretch of the imagination. I just want to point that out. All we care about is that you love the Steelers and you want to talk some Steelers football with us today. Gonna give some shout outs here. We got Ali the Reaper in here. We got Eric Brown, Robert Locke. We got Collapsed Throne, which is Fernando Martin. Shout out to Fernando. We've got Eric Brown, the Dumpster Chickens, Robert, Loki Smith, Eugene is here. Got a bunch of people in the chat right now. Over 260 Yinzers across the world are watching this show. Joey, how are we looking here? Says we're caught up and we're about to get into our next segment here, guys. This is a fun one to put together because there's a lot of different possibilities for the Steelers at the quarterback position, especially a year away removed from an offseason. So there's a bunch of names that are possible for the Steelers. I can't wait to talk about them with you guys here on today's show. After this next segment, though, we will be getting into the mailbag. So if you haven't gotten your question in yet, make sure you use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get on the show today. And then, of course, we've got our Madden stream coming up here momentarily. So without further ado, let's get into our next segment right here on Steelers Talk Live. New Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers confirmed to the Pat McAfee show earlier this offseason here that 2025 will be his one and only season, or likely his one and only season with the black and gold before he ends up hanging up the cleats and retiring after an illustrious 20-plus year NFL career. And today on Steelers Talk, we're going to take an early look at the Pittsburgh Steelers' options at the quarterback position heading into the 2026 offseason. We're going to look at some of the top draft guys, some free agent quarterbacks, some guys that could potentially be trade candidates next year as well. And we're going to talk through the quarterback situation a year removed from the start of yet another chapter here in the Steelers' search for the next franchise quarterback here in the Steel City. So if you guys don't already follow me on X, I'm going to be putting out a bunch of college football film analysis on all the top quarterbacks this year. So if you want to be well informed on all the top guys in next year's NFL draft and which guys the Steelers could potentially take in round 1 next year, make sure you guys click that follow button at Jack_Sperry on X. I greatly appreciate all of your guys' support. So no matter what, guys, I'm going to start with this, okay? No matter what happens this year with Aaron Rodgers, I would expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to definitely be in the market to take a quarterback in round 1 of the NFL draft next year. Of course, next year's draft is held in Pittsburgh. I don't think the Steelers are going to want to miss out on an opportunity to really have a really special moment for this fan base. Hearing the name of their next franchise quarterback called in the city that he'll be playing would be a truly special moment for this franchise and for this city and for this fan base. And I think really the only way that they don't do that is if they're really impressed with Will Howard, the 6th-round rookie out of Ohio State this year. And let's say at the end of the season, Aaron Rodgers says, sayonara, I'm retiring, but hey, this Will Howard guy, this guy's the real deal. You need to start him next year. I think that's really the only way that they don't end up taking a quarterback in round 1 next year of some kind. And when it comes to the top quarterbacks, like right now, at this point in time, we don't know for sure who's going to be in that first-round conversation. We don't know where the Steelers will be selecting. But these are the 10 names that I would say keep your eye on that I've been impressed with in my early film study before the 2026 NFL Draft. Of course, Arch Manning is the one that everybody knows. Drew Aller is a very popular name as well because he goes to Penn State. Garrett Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers, I think is a really Mike Tomlin-esque type of athlete who's just special with his size, arm strength, and rushing ability combination. John Mateer out of Oklahoma, keep your eye on him. Bendy arm talent, really good anticipation, really like his film as well. But there's some really good and talented quarterbacks that could be first-round picks in college football this year. If you guys want a more in-depth look on all of these guys, we actually did a video a couple weeks ago taking a first look into the top quarterbacks in the NFL draft class for next year. So I'll put the link to that one in the comments and description of today's show and put the chip in the top right if you want to check that out. But make no mistake here, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though they are probably going to be bringing in a rookie in round 1 next year, I do expect them to also bring in some sort of veteran to help mentor that quarterback in the Steelers quarterback room next year. Now, I think there's 2 scenarios that the Steelers could go down here. Okay, the first scenario here is that they could sign or trade for a veteran QB1 to be their starter for the 2026 season and then have that first-round rookie do the whole Patrick Mahomes thing where they're sitting for a full year behind an established veteran before they take the reins in 2027 as the new franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, you might be asking yourselves at home, Jack, why would they do this strategy? Well, the reason why they would do this is Cam Hayward's got 2 years left before he retires, and next offseason he will have 1 more season before he retires. And guys, rookie quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls. So if you're going to keep Cam Hayward on the roster, there's a very good argument to be made. The starting quarterback needs to be a veteran to try and at least give this team a chance to win a Super Bowl while Cam Hayward is still here in Pittsburgh. And if the Steelers have a good season this year, let's say they get close to a Super Bowl, I don't know if their plan is going to be to completely rebuild behind a new starting quarterback that's a rookie. I think they're probably going to prefer an established veteran that can help them try and win a Super Bowl before Cam Hayward retires. When it comes to this scenario, I think the more likely scenario is that they end up trading for a quarterback. Now, these are 10 names to consider that, Matthew Stafford has had some offseason issues with the Rams in the past. Is it possible he could be back on the trade block next year? Baker Mayfield, if he disappoints in Tampa this year, is it possible that they could potentially trade him? Trevor Lawrence, somebody that was connected to the Steelers this year and kind of a shady report, to be honest. But if he has another down year in Liam Cohen's offense, I could see him get dealt. Sam Darnold, if they're really enamored with Jalen Milroe there in Seattle, Darnold could be a trade asset for them next offseason. Kyler Murray, another guy that if he has another down year in Arizona, he could be on the trade block. Tua Tagovailoa would not be my first option because of his lack of arm strength, but he's another guy that could be on the trade market next year. Justin Fields, the Steelers like Fields' skill set, and if he does a decent job in New York this year and they end up drafting a new quarterback next year, Fields could once again enter the fray for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a return could be possible. Bryce Young is another young quarterback that's going to be on the hot seat this year, and then Michael Penix Jr., another guy that could be in a make-or-break season depending on how he plays, and Tyler Shuck as well, a rookie out of Louisville this year, where if the Saints are drafting in the top 3, they're taking a new quarterback. The Steelers are very enamored with Tyler Shuck this year. They didn't have a first-round grade on him, but Arthur Smith did like him quite a bit. If he shows some promise, it wouldn't shock me if Shuck is once again on the Steelers' radar here in 2026. Now, honestly, guys, when it comes to the free agency market in this scenario where you're looking for an established starting quarterback, there's not going to be a ton of good free agent quarterbacks that hit the open market next year. All right, the best one you can make an argument is like Daniel Jones or Russell Wilson. Obviously, Russ, I think he's still on good terms with Mike Tomlin, but I don't think the Steelers necessarily want to do business with him again. Daniel Jones, we'll see how he does in Indianapolis this year, but I certainly don't see him as somebody that you expect to take you to a Super Bowl. And the same thing goes for guys like Joe Flacco, Gardner Minshew, and Tyrod Taylor, none of which may even start week 1 for their respective teams this year. So honestly, if you want to go the free agent route for a quarterback that you think could win a Super Bowl for you in 2026, the number one guy is actually Aaron Rodgers. Now, I know what you're saying at home. Jack, he already said he's retiring next year. Well, I think that there's actually a scenario here, guys, where the Steelers, with Aaron Rodgers, have a really successful season this year. They win like 12, 13 games. Maybe they win the division this year. Maybe they win a playoff game. They are right in the mix to win a Super Bowl, and they come up just short. In that scenario, I could see Rodgers, who by that point I'm going to guess is very close with probably fellow team captain Cam Hayward, and he's like, well, Cam's going to retire in 2026. I want him to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to come back one more time and try to win it for Captain Cam. I think if anyone is going to convince Aaron Rodgers to come back for one more season, I think it's going to be Coach Tomlin, who Aaron Rodgers, the way that he talks about Mike is like they're already best friends. Like they talked every single week during the offseason. He said his expectations about Tomlin were exceeded this offseason. It seems like Rodgers really likes Coach T's coaching style, and if anybody's going to convince him to return for one more season after this year, I think it's going to be Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. What is the percent chance that Aaron Rodgers plays for the Steelers in 2026? Put it on a scale of 0, meaning no chance, he's definitely retiring after this year, to 100%, meaning, man, he's not retiring, he's coming back for another season here in the Steel City. On a scale of 0 to 100, let me know what you guys think for today's pinned question. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Fanatics, and while I'm telling you about Fanatics here, let me know down there in the comment section the percent chance that Aaron Rodgers comes back for a second season here in Pittsburgh. Now let's talk about our sponsor today at Fanatics, where you guys can rep the stars and stripes as well as the black and gold during your 4th of July barbecue this year when you go to chatsports.com/PitUSA. If you love your country and you love your football team and you don't want to mix colors, you don't want to have, the stars and stripes on your shorts, but, the black and gold on the top, those colors kind of clash, guys. Just put it all in one shirt here. It's an affordable price from our friends at Fanatics. It's a really cool design. I got one coming my way. I'm going to be wearing it at my 4th of July barbecue here coming up. So go to chatsports.com/PitUSA if you want this t-shirt today. It also helps out the channel, and part of the proceeds go to us with every purchase. When you use our link, again, that link is chatsports.com/PitUSA. You can find that down in the comments and description of today's show. Now, the second scenario that the Steelers could go down, again, scenario 1 is they get a veteran to start for them for the entirety of the 2026 season. Second scenario is that, they kind of do the reset thing where they bring in a bridge quarterback, but they draft a quarterback in round 1 of the draft to eventually take over for that bridge quarterback during the 2026 season. And guys, this is the full franchise reboot scenario. This is what would happen if the Steelers, say, win 7 games this year. They fire Mike Tomlin or they trade him away. They restart with a new head coach. They trade away, most likely, Cam Hayward and Minkah Fitzpatrick, 2 older, expensive players in this scenario. And who knows, maybe even even TJ Watt and some other guys as well. Like, this is the full reboot, rebuild kind of situation where you go to a rookie in 2026. And this is where I think that the free agent options, start to kind of come up again. Maybe not Russell Wilson, but somebody like a Joe Flacco, someone like a Gardner Minshew, someone like a Tyrod Taylor, Daniel Jones. Those guys could be really good mentors and, bridge-style quarterbacks for a rookie quarterback that you eventually expect to start. Or the Steelers could just not make a move for a veteran in free agency and just ride with Mason Rudolph. He's got a 2-year contract. I could certainly see the Steelers making the decision here where Mason can be a really good mentor for a rookie quarterback. You can trust him to start a couple games at the beginning of the season while the rookie is still learning the ropes. And if the team is kind of rebooting, I don't think that the locker room would have any problem with Mason Rudolph starting the season as the starter. So honestly, going down this scenario, this is probably the one scenario where I could actually see Mason Rudolph being the starting quarterback week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is, if the rookie doesn't beat him out in training camp. But predict it for me down there in the comments section. Who's your best guess as to who will be the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback week 1 of 2026? Is there a particular rookie that you want? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back for another season? Do you think Will Howard is going to win the hearts of the organization this season? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. And I had a lot of fun putting this video together, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, we put together more videos like this every single day throughout the weeks leading up to Steelers training camps. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for your daily dose of Steelers news right here on YouTube. All right, next up we got the live Q&A mailbag. Joey, how are we doing on questions right now?
Let's check. We got a good bit. Would like a little bit more variety of some different people. We got a lot of same people asking questions, which is great. We love we love the faithful, but let's get some new guys. Dip the toes in the water. Get new questions in.
Yeah, I'll say let's do a 2-minute shot clock here, guys. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to get your questions in. Again, to get a question on the mailbag, all you have to do is get in the live chat room and use hashtag Steelers, all right? And if you guys use hashtag Steelers, you can put your question in after that. So, for example, your comment says hashtag Steelers. Will Aaron Rodgers win league MVP? And then Joey will put it on the show, and I'll answer the question. All right? So if you want to guarantee your question gets on the show, you guys can super chat. We're about $50 away from slapping Trader Joey. Once again, he is our Ravens host here at Chat Sports. So if you want to slap the Ravens host today, we're just $50 away, guys, from being able to do that. And, of course, we're going to be giving away a Steelers jersey at the end of today's show. $5 gets you into the raffle. 10 gets you 3 raffle tickets. And every 20 you spend gets you 10 raffle tickets. So we appreciate your guys' support. Joey, you got something for me?
A little bit of breaking news in the sports world, in the MLB field. Officially, Wander Franco, 2-year prison sentence suspended after he was found guilty. So is he not serving a prison sentence now?
I guess not.
Interesting.
Kind of random for a Steelers show there, Joey.
I thought it was breaking sports information.
Okay. Fair enough. We got a minute to go here, so why not talk a little bit of baseball here? How about we talk about how the Pittsburgh Pirates fucking stink?
I saw Skeens last night.
Yeah, I mean, Skeens
4 runs by the second inning. It was the first time ever.
Yeah, it was a tough outing for Paul yesterday, but he's been fantastic all season. He's probably going to win Cy Young this year with a losing record, which is unbelievable. But last year, I mean, it was electric. Rookie season, we even did Paul Skeens watch parties. We broke the all-time Chat Sports record for donations on a show on a Paul Skeens watch party, over 13,000 on one show. Those are some good times. But, I mean, I was hoping we were going to be able to do some Paul Skeens stuff this year, but unfortunately, the Pirates have just been so bad, I just don't think it's worth it. But we got 10 seconds left to get your questions in. We got a good amount of questions coming in now, so thank you so much for getting the questions in here. But Joey, are we about ready here?
Yeah, I think we are ready to go. Let me get us all caught up on this end, then we can run it, brother.
Sounds good. So this is our last segment before we get into our Madden stream for the day. Thank you guys so much for being patient with us today. But let's get into it right now, man. I can't wait for it. My favorite segment of the week, Steelers Talk Mailbag, coming at you guys right now. It's my favorite segment of the week, the Steelers Talk Mailbag here. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today I'm going to be answering your questions on the black and gold here as we get closer and closer and closer to Steelers training camp in Latrobe at the end of July. But before we get into the questions today, make sure you click that subscribe button. Join the most interactive Steelers fan community anywhere on YouTube. We go live at least twice a week on usually Mondays and Thursdays. We do watch parties for every single Steelers game, the largest Steelers watch parties anywhere on YouTube. All 100% free, guys. Daily, informative Steelers content for you guys to enjoy. So if you want all that, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. First one coming in from my man, DJ KJ, says, when will TJ Watt sign a new contract? I think it's going to be closer to training camp. And, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, because I know Steelers fans just want this to get done, all right? It's kind of similar to, like, the Aaron Rodgers situation where it's like, we just don't want to, get close to training camp still wondering. But the reality of the situation, guys, is that deadlines make deals, and the start of training camp is a kind of soft deadline of sorts that a lot of these, deals end up happening by. And, this is just the way that the NFL offseason works. If there's a player that wants to get paid a certain amount of money, team doesn't want to pay that amount, it usually, drags on all throughout the offseason. So I would expect at least another couple of weeks or so with no decision, no word from the TJ Watt front. And then I think things are going to start kind of kicking back into gear once we get closer to the start of training camp. Then we got one from Gabe Edwards, says, would Jalen Ramsey make the Steelers defense the best in the league? You can make an argument it's already the best in the league, in my opinion, okay? Beanie Bishop Jr., though, the nickelback, is probably the weak link, even though he had some big-time plays last year, some interceptions, a lot of interceptions, actually, for someone with limited playing time. Intercepted Aaron Rodgers twice in the Jets game last year. I'm appreciative of Beanie, and he's had a good offseason program, according to the reports on the ground. But Jalen Ramsey is, like, bona fide one of the best nickel defenders in the game today. And, he's an instant upgrade in your base defense with just two corners on the field versus Darius Slay. So I absolutely think that with Jalen Ramsey, this is the best defense in the league. I think they already have the best pass rush in the league. The secondary, I think, has improved this year, but it's definitely the weak spot in the Steelers defense. Adding Jalen Ramsey, I think, gets them over the top where they officially have no holes if there's no injuries in this defense. Then we got Milton Sanchez. Says, do you think Mike Hilton makes a return to Pittsburgh? I think that if Jalen Ramsey goes elsewhere, there is a chance. Because Hilton played his best football of his entire career here in Pittsburgh, all right? He was essentially like an edge rusher here in Pittsburgh. And it's kind of weird the way that they used him because they played him in the slot, but they would blitz him so often that he was essentially an edge player. And they would send somebody else in coverage, one of the outside linebackers, whether that was Dupree or Watt, into coverage, depending on which side Hilton was playing. And, bringing that element of slot cornerback blitzes back into this Blitzburgh defense would be absolutely terrific as far as I'm concerned. He's also a good run defender, can set the edge for kind of a smaller guy, but, he's tough as hell. He's tough as nails. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's one of my all-time favorite players because of the unique role that he played here in Pittsburgh, and they tried to make Arthur Maulet kind of like a Mike Hilton-style corner. He just wasn't the same, man. Just wasn't the same. So even though Mike is a little bit older now, he had a pretty good season for Cincinnati last year. I'm shocked he has not signed to a new team at this point, so I would welcome Mike Hilton back with open arms. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers bring back Mike Hilton? Give me a yes or no down there in the comment section for today's pinned question. And YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by let me know if you would be supportive of a reunion between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Hilton. Got one from my man Kevin Reed here. Says, do you think if the Steelers roll with Will Howard in 2026, all the beat writers will lose their effing minds? If they do draft a quarterback, I say draft Aller and let him and Howard duke it out. Here's the thing, Kevin. If you're drafting Drew Aller and you're investing a first-round pick in him, he's going to be the franchise quarterback. All right, there's not going to be a competition between a sixth-round pick who you don't really owe anything to and a first-round pick who you're spending a top draft asset on. And you're probably trading up for him if you're getting Drew Aller, by the way. So if that's the situation, Will is going to be Drew's backup. That's going to be the plan for Will Howard. But what I will say here, guys, is that if the Steelers roll with Will Howard, they better be right on it because this is a really good quarterback class coming up in 2026. So if they're going to, say no to these quarterbacks that are coming in next spring for Will Howard, they better be fucking sure that Will Howard is going to be, that next franchise guy. If not, they're going to be very, very disappointed with themselves, and we'll see how he ends up developing this year. We got one from Eugene. My man says, what quarterback should Pittsburgh draft in 2026? Obviously, it depends how these guys play this next year and, what the Steelers are looking for and all that. I would say 2 guys that I would keep my eye on are Lenora Sellers from South Carolina. He's very Justin Fields-esque in terms of his physical skill set. Big, strong, elite, dynamic athlete with a huge arm. He could win the Heisman Trophy this year, and it's very possible he's the number 1 overall pick. No chance the Steelers can get to him. But if he doesn't have a stellar season, there's a chance that he could be kind of like a developmental type of first-round quarterback prospect, similar to the way Anthony Richardson was when he was coming out of Florida, because his physical upside is huge. So keep your eye out for Lenora Sellers. And then also Drew Aller out of Penn State. He's used to playing in Pennsylvania conditions, big arm, can definitely play in the AFC North. And I really like the way that he protects the football too. So big arm talent, big body, really dynamic arm talent, and then he's got some ability to protect the football too. So I like Drew Aller quite a bit. Then we got one from JT Clover, says over or under Calvin Austin 900 yards. I think that this question is a good one, JT. I think it really does depend on if they add another wide receiver. Because if they bring in Calvin Austin, or if they bring in Amari Cooper, I should say, to be this team's number 2 receiver, Calvin's just not going to see the ball enough to get 900 yards. Now, if he is this team's bona fide number 2 receiver, I think he absolutely could get to 900, all right? Darnell Mooney got over 100 last year, and I think Austin and Mooney, very similar type of players, okay? Undersized, they play on the outside or in the slot. Really good route runners, solid hands. Like Calvin Austin, Darnell Mooney, very similar players to me. So if he's the true number 2, absolutely he could get to 900. If not, I don't think that he's going to get enough targets to get there. But I still think he'll be a good player. Got one from Brian03. Says, is Muth underrated or viewed properly? Well, I think it depends who you're talking about. I think Muth is probably seen as a good tight end by most people. And I think that's what he is, all right? Like, I don't think he's terrific. I don't think he's like an all-pro caliber guy necessarily, or at least he hasn't been yet. And I don't think, he sucks. And I think where he's really underrated, Brian, is as a blocker. Like, people talk about Pat like he sucks as a blocker. Now, it's like, okay, if you're going to play him in line and you're going to ask him to go up against an edge rusher in a run-blocking scheme one-on-one, yeah, he's going to get his ass kicked. That's not what he's known for, all right? But, like, as the kind of non-inline tight end, a more of a receiving type alignment, he can get to the second level, handle linebackers, handle safeties, handle those smaller type defenders perfectly fine, and then he's a really good possession type tight end. He's not going to, be super dynamic after the catch or anything like that. I don't think he's like a Travis Kelce or George Kittle level guy or Gronk or anything like that, but he's very, very solid, very dependable, great teammate, hard worker, absolutely a Pittsburgh Steeler. I love Pat Freiermuth. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are a real one, helps out the channel, takes half a second of your time, tells the YouTube algorithm to put this video in front of more Steelers fans like yourself. So if you're a real one, you know what to do. Click that thumbs up icon. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. My man Ali, coming in with a 5, says, what do you think the record's going to be with Aaron Rodgers this year? Obviously, I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding the Steelers. And obviously, depending on how those questions get answered, it's going to depend on, that's going to be what culminates in the record, right? If the offensive line works out and they take a big step forward, Caleb Johnson has a really good first year. Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson have breakout seasons this year. Like this, the sky's the limit. They could win 13, even 14 games this year, all right? Especially if TJ Watt stays healthy. But I think that a reasonable estimate is somewhere around the 10-11 win mark. All right, that's where they've been. I think that they're better than they have been in years past. Wouldn't surprise me if it's 11-6. Wouldn't surprise me if it's 12-5, if I'm being completely honest with you. So anywhere between 10 and 12 wins, I think, is a reasonable expectation for a team that was worse last year and got the 10 wins. Then we got one to Shower Curtain here. Love the picture, by the way, man. Says, why is Cordero Patterson still on the roster? What does he bring to the team? He brings veteran experience, I guess, more depth, experience in Arthur Smith's offense in particular. He's been very successful in this offense, and I think that the Steelers might feel like he brings valuable veteran kind of mentorship for Caleb Johnson, who's going to be playing the same role Cordero played in this offense when he was in Atlanta, when he was essentially the number 1 back for Arthur Smith. before they brought in Bijan Robinson. And Cordero is a bigger back that, played on those early downs. He's played a lot in outside zone run schemes. Like, I think they kind of feel like he can be a good mentor for Caleb in training camp. And maybe they still feel like he can bring some special teams, upside. I don't think that, but maybe the Steelers do. Mike Tomlin loves that aspect of his game. He's definitely on the bubble for the roster, and it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't make the roster. But I think that probably the main thing that they like about him is that he can be a good mentor for Caleb Johnson. Then we got one from Trent Latham. It says, how great do you think Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig will be as rotational pieces? I think that they'll do their jobs. All right, Jack Sawyer, plays his ass off. Good run defender. He's kind of like a brick wall out there, man. He's tough to move. And then Nick Herbig, obviously, as an undersized edge rusher that comes in pass-heavy situations, one of the best designated pass rushers in all of football. So really love what those two guys do. Jack Sawyer is going to be playing that Preston Smith role where he comes in on early downs from time to time, and then Nick Herbig is going to be that pass-heavy down rotational piece that comes in on later downs from time to time. So really love those two rotational pieces. I think it's the best edge rusher room in football, and you can't convince me otherwise. Then we go on from Ali the Reaper, says, do we go after Dobbs now? I mean, I don't know what the price tag is from Green Bay, or even if they want to trade it. All right, I know for a fact the Steelers called Green Bay, and they inquired about him. And they also inquired about Dontavian Wicks, by the way. But obviously no deal has surfaced yet. So who knows what the Steelers are thinking? And who knows what the Packers are thinking? Maybe the Packers have this delusion that they're going to keep all these wide receivers going in the training camp, and they don't want to trade any of these guys. Maybe they're asking for a third-round pick for one of these guys. We just don't know what's going on, behind closed doors there. But for the right price, I'm absolutely in grabbing Romeo Dobbs. I think he can be a legit number 2 receiver for this team. Milton Sanchez, what's up, Milton? Says, who scores our first TD of the season? Tough to say. I'm going to say they're going to want to get the ball. If they get into the red zone in that first game against the Jets, first time they're in the red zone and the first time they call up a play to try to score a touchdown, they're going to want to have Aaron Rodgers throw a touchdown pass. So I don't know who he throws it to, but I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers passing touchdown, first touchdown of the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hell, let's give it to Darnell Washington, man. Big DW, Mount Washington, big tight end. The Jets defense isn't going to know how to defend that guy. Throws it up, catches it, touchdown DW, touchdown Aaron Rodgers. So take a guess for me down there in the comments section. Who scores the first touchdown of the Steelers season this year? I think Aaron Rodgers will be involved with the play in some capacity, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Great questions this week, as always, guys. We do this mailbag every single week, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support, and until next time, here we go, Steelers. Coming up next, it is our Madden simulated season, our next one in the lineup here, Week 11 versus the dreaded Cincinnati Bengals.
Jack, am I mistaken, or did you get a Venmo or PayPal during that segment?
Let's see.
Thought it sounded like you did.
I did.
Okay, that's what I thought. Go ahead and send that my way.
I will send it your way.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. All right, so we will get into the Madden Sim here soon. Do you need anything from me with the TV? You just need to turn it on.
Oh, shit. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, go ahead and turn it on.
Here, I'll throw you the remote here if you need to do anything with it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so we'll get this. That's a lot of us in just a couple seconds there. But we will get into this next Madden simulation. Right now in our Madden simulated season, the Steelers are 6-3. They just came off a big win on Sunday Night Football versus the Los Angeles Chargers, and their last loss was a 28-10 romping versus the Cincinnati Bengals. This time, the Steelers are home, trying to get some revenge here. And a $10 coming in from Steeler Jack Singer, my man. He says, what is a must-get-done deal? Future Howard Power Yinzer style. That's a mouthful right there, Jack, but I appreciate you. But yeah, the Watt deal needs to get done, especially because the Steelers are expected to have relatively cheap quarterback play the next several seasons, because you're going to have Aaron Rodgers on a really team-friendly deal this year, and then in future seasons you're going to have your rookie quarterback, and he's going to be on a rookie contract. So the Steelers can't afford to give TJ Watt a massive new deal, and you need him to be able to compete. So I'm right there with you, Jack. You got to be able to pay TJ Watt. I think a deal will get done. There's just no way the Steelers are going to let him out of their building. That's just my opinion. But coming up here, guys, the moment you've been waiting for, Thursday Madden stream, Steelers versus Bengals, Acrisure Stadium during the day. It's going to be a lot of fun. But just so you guys know, at the end of this game, we will be giving away not only one of these Steelers talk hats that we give away every single show, but we'll also give away a Steelers jersey of the winner's choosing. So if you guys want to get in on the raffle, $5 raffle tickets, $10 to get 3 raffle tickets, $20 to get yourself 10 tickets, plus you get your name on the Steelers Talk Gong. And then if we get to $250 total today, we'll bang that gong for you. And every $100 we get on the stream today, we are slapping Ravens host Trader Joey, our producer today. We are $40 away. $40 away, I believe, from slapping Joey again. So 220s gets it done, all right? And what I'll tell you guys right now, if you want to double your chances of winning the hat and or the jersey, guys can send in Venmos or PayPals at Jack Sperry on Venmo and at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. I will double your tickets if you send in your donations via these 2 channels. By the way, just got another PayPal here. I'll send your way. By the way, we are now $30 away from slapping Joey again. We're still $30 away. Let's see here. Trent with a 10, he says, man, I love this channel. Jack, keep it up. Appreciate you, Trent. You're a real one. You know how much we love you, Trent. Best of luck to you in the jersey and hat raffles. I mean, you just won a hat, so, we'll probably, hopefully you win the jersey, not the hat because you already won one. But, Joey, let's take a look here at our Madden season to this point, the results of the games, and what has transpired for all the people that haven't been keeping up with our Madden simulated season. We started the season off with a loss to the New York Jets, 14-13. By the way, Aaron Rodgers did not sign until week 7 in our Madden simulated season, so weeks 1 through 6 was all Mason Rudolph and Will Howard at quarterback. But week 2, absolute romping defensively versus the Seattle Seahawks at home. Then you lose to Drake May and the Patriots in week 3. You beat the Vikings on the road, or in Dublin, I should say, 20-17 in week 4. You absolutely destroy Shedeur Sanders and the Browns in week 6. Lose to the Bengals. That was this team's last loss. 24-10 was the final. I think Joe Burrow had 1 incomplete pass in that game. But then 3 straight wins with Aaron Rodgers under center against Green Bay, Indy, and Los Angeles. Today, it is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. So without further ado, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. The kick is off in Pittsburgh, and look at this. Joey, did you pick the jerseys for this? The all-white Bengal jerseys today for Burrow and company?
You know, you get something good when I become the producer.
Yeah, I guess so. Right. By the way, $30 away in donations until we get to slap Joey again. So if you hate the Ravens, make sure you send in some money. Also get yourself some raffle tickets to win that jersey raffle. Here we go, shotgun first play. Burrow is looking. He's going to throw a completed pass. Looks like to T. Higgins for a gain of 8. Joey, can you take off the computer bar on the TV by any chance? I can't see the scoreboard. I mean, I can just check it on screen here, but okay. So here we go. It is 2nd down and 2. Shotgun Burrow. He will take the snap. He will hand it off, and it's going to be Cam Hayward with the TFL. 3rd down coming up. Spam those 3s in the chat. Who's all here? Who's spamming their 3s? We got Ali the Reaper. We got Joe. We got Ali, Alex L, Christopher Domingo. Come on. It's time to get him off the field. 3rd down and 2. Burrow in the shotgun. He's got a bunch out to his left. He takes the snap. He throws quickly. Knocked away. Incomplete. Minkah Fitzpatrick knocks it away for the PBU, and it's 4th down, and the Bengals got a punt. Let's go. Burrow already has as many incompletions as he had in the entire last game in Cincinnati. So here we go. The Bengals will punt it away. And the Steelers will take it at the 14. Short return. down to around the 22-yard line, and here comes Aaron Rodgers. Joey, just so you know, Madden just doesn't understand Rodgers, in my opinion, because he takes a long time to process information. He makes stupid decisions, but when he lets it loose down the field on his first read, I think he's 100% completion percentage. Under center here, they'll hand it off. It is Jaylen Warren. He's had a hell of a season in our Madden simulated season this year so far. 3-yard gain. Not a bad start. Not a bad start here. Come on. Still over 200 people watching live. Thank you to all the real ones supporting our channel here. Shotgun handoff. Once again, establishing the run here. Jaylen Warren picks up another couple yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3 coming up. Oh, let's go. Just got another Venmo here that we'll get to momentarily. But here we go, 3rd down and 3. Big down for the Steelers. They got a bunch condensed to the formation on the right. Rodgers will look. He will throw on the drag. It is caught. Jaylen Warren. 1st down, Steelers. Type those ones. Steelers move the chains and keep the drive alive. Let's go. We'll get to that Venmo here momentarily, but it's 1st down for the black and gold here. Looks like, Raji in that first game against the Bengals didn't look too good. Offense didn't look too good, but over the last 3 weeks, 3 straight wins for the Steelers. Looks like this unit is finding their piece a little bit. They're going to hand it off to Warren on the 1st down carry. Picks up some yardage there, but not a relatively short gain. 2nd down and medium. Sean Wampler. Hope I'm saying that right, my friend. Puts in a 20, and he says slap. Well, here's the thing, Sean. We still need another 10 to get there, all right? We're at $190 total today. We need to get to 200 to slap Joey. So who's gonna slam down the alley-oop? Sean put in the 10. Now here comes Caleb Johnson and a big run for KJ into Cincinnati territory. 1st down Steelers. Let's go. Let's go. Caleb Johnson not getting too many reps so far this season, but he's made them count so far. Now Steelers from the Bengals 38 will go into the I formation with DW, Mount Washington in at fullback. They go toss play, terrible play design by Arthur Smith. I mean, does Art ever learn, guys, that those toss plays are just not going to work? Loss of 1. Who's going to slam down the alley-oop from Sean? Sean put up the $20 lob. Who's putting down the $10 jam? So we can slap Trader Joey. Shotgun Rodgers, he's looking. Nothing there initially. Throws sideline, out of bounds, incomplete. Joey, that scared me a little bit because the last time we played the Bengals, 2 seconds left in the half, he does a spinning jump throw, tries to throw it out of bounds, and it's picked off for a pick 6. And that's one of the reasons why they lost. Shotgun here. Takes the snap, Rodgers. Still looking. Now he's going to take a sack. See what I'm talking about, Joey? Like, Aaron Rodgers' thing is that he doesn't hold on to the ball forever. But in this game, he consistently holds on to the ball forever. So 4th and 15 now. Are they going to try the field goal here, or are they going to punt and try to – would you punt or would you try and kick the field goal here? They're gonna punt. It's just such a long field goal attempt, a 60-yarder, so they're going to try and play the field positioning game. Looks like a pretty decent punt from Cam Johnston. The Bengals will take over here. Actually, not the best punt. They take over at around the 19. Shotgun Burrow, semi-condensed formation, play action, plenty of time for Burrow, steps up looking to run, and he gets smashed by the Steelers defense. It's a gain of 3. And now an injury timeout. Yeah, I did. We did get a super chat that we will put up on screen here at the end of the quarter. We got 37 seconds left in the first quarter in Pittsburgh.
Hey, Robert, I see you in the comments section. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate it.
What is he saying? Robert, are you showing love to the Ravens fan?
He said, Joey's doing a great job. Cut him a break.
Joey does do a good job. Unfortunately, he was a traitor, and he took the Ravens job. Because Joey, man, by the way, first down Bengals on the quick hitter. You were here for, the first couple, weeks of your producing career when Coop was doing some Mav stuff, and then you take the Ravens job, man. What the heck?
Yeah, what the heck? Upward trajectory in your career?
Yeah,
I suck.
Yeah, you do.
How dare I?
Yeah, how dare you? Come on, man. You should have stuck with us. That's the end of the quarter, or I think it's going to be, right? Or are they going to get one more playoff? Bengals will probably get one more playoff here. Trips left for Burrow. Takes the snap. Steelers send blitz. Quick throw caught on the outside by Higgins for a short gain, for a gain of 3. And that's going to end the first quarter. Robert Locke locks in the slap. We'll do the slap at halftime. Halftime slap. And with Robert's $10 super chat, we're now $50 away from banging the gong. All right, if you want me to bang this gong as loud as I can so that everybody here at Chat Sports can hear it, we're $50 away. Under center for Burrow on 2nd down and 7. Play action. He's got a ton of time. He's going to throw immediately to his running back, Chase Brown, who's brought down by Alex Highsmith. It'll be 3rd down and manageable coming up. Come on. Robert says, also Joey has to put up with Jack, the king of the shit talkers. Joey knows, man. Under center. It's going to be another play action concept. Once again, wide open throws. Intercepted by the Steelers, Minkah Fitzpatrick. No, are they saying incomplete? Or are they saying out of bounds? No, they're saying this is intercepted by Minkah. Steelers take over. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Let's go, man. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers take over in Bengals territory. Joe Burrow not playing quite as well as he did in the jungle a couple weeks back. Rodgers from shotgun. We will hand it off to Jaylen Warren, and he will pick up as much as he can, just a 3-yard gain. We'll say, though, Joey, I appreciate that Arthur Smith in this game is establishing the run. That's something that they haven't really done throughout our Summer Madden series.
Yeah, I think you should do it more with Caleb Johnson. Breakaway speed.
Sure. Caleb Johnson has been awesome, but he's never on the field because he's the backup running back, technically, and Madden doesn't play backup running backs. 2 running backs or 2 receivers set here, play action. Rodgers is all the time in the world, throws on the run, caught by his check down, Jaylen Warren, and there he goes, getting inside Bengals territory and into their red zone. 1st down, Steelers. Let's go. Let's go. Steelers driving here in the 2nd quarter. Shout out to Christopher, shout out to Eugene, Kevin Reed, Milton Sanchez, DJ KJ, Robert, Steel City 6-timer. Thanks for watching the show. I formation here, handoff, Jaylen Warren finding some blockers. He's going to pick up a 4-yard gain. Steelers continue to pound the rock and feed Jaylen Warren. Also, Trey Hendrickson playing for the Bengals. I mean, I'm okay with that one. Did you take Jermaine Pratt out, Joey, or are you bad at your job?
Coop did the rosters, so...
So he probably got it wrong. Okay.
Probably wrong.
Probably wrong. Shotgun, Rodgers, hands off to Warren. He's got a nice hole, picks up another 1st down, and gets down to the 7-yard line. Type those ones, 1st down, Steelers. Let's go. So another nice drive here from the Steelers. Jaylen Warren really leading the way. I wouldn't be surprised here if they put Caleb in for a couple plays, but they're not. Bunch formation out to the left for Rodgers, condensed to the line, takes the snap. He's running out of time. Now he's going to roll, throw off his back foot, incomplete. Oh, my goodness. See what I'm talking about, Joey? Like, this is the short bus version of Aaron Rodgers. When has Rodgers ever made a throw like that? Where he's putting it in danger like that. He just never does. Spread formation. Two receivers on each side with a running back. Rodgers takes the snap, throws quickly. Had a wide open, I think it was Calvin Austin for a touchdown. He just missed him. By the way, when has Aaron Rodgers ever missed a 5-yard throw like that? By the way, guys, just so you know, I will be going home next week for a little vacation for 4th of July week. So there will be no live shows next week, just so you guys know. But here we go. Rodgers going to look to run. Going to get in. No, he couldn't run it in. Go for it. Gets to the 1-yard line, but Trey Hendrickson brings him down. See, this is the other thing with Madden Aaron Rodgers, Joey, is that he thinks he can run it. He runs at least like 5 or 6 times a game. And they're going to go for it here. Come on, I love it. Jumbo formation. It is Jaylen Warren the back. They are going to hand it off to Warren. Can he get in? Does he get in? He does! Touchdown, Steelers! Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. It was Jaylen Warren's drive. It's only fitting that he finished it off. Touchdown run for Jaylen Warren. Puts the Steelers on top. And pending a PAT from the great and powerful Boz, this will be 7-0 Steelers. It is up and it is good. 7-0 Steelers. 8-play drive for 44 yards and killed some clock too. We are just about to hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Steelers up 7-0. Minkah Fitzpatrick with the interception. Already has a PBU and an interception in this game, so Minkah playing well. Kick is away. It's caught at the 3-yard line. And it is taken down at around the 25. And the Bengals take over here in a jumbo formation. Only one receiver. They're going to hand it off. Chase Brown not going to go anywhere. Steelers defense ravenous. 2-minute warning in Pittsburgh. 7-0 is the score. Again, guys, just to remind you that we will not be having any live shows next week. I will be going home for a 4th of July week vacation. So don't take many vacations, but I always do for 4th of July. So we will not be doing any live streams next week, just so you guys know. Shotgun here for Burrow. Takes the snap. He is looking, throwing quick slant, caught. Looks like Yoshivas for a decent gain of 6 yards. 3rd down and 4. Let's get him off the field. Come on. Spam those threes. Spam those threes. Come on. I want to be sitting at 7-3 before I go on vacation. Takes the snap. Burrow's got time. He's going to throw down the field. Is this caught? No, incomplete. Good coverage from Joey Porter Jr., and the Bengals will have to punt. The Steelers defense came to play today, folks. The Steelers defense came to play today. Love to see it. Still a minute 32 to go with Steelers having all their timeouts. Raji might be able to put something together here. By the way, Steelers get the ball coming out of the half too. Kick is away, caught at the 20, taken to around the 26-yard line. That's where Rodgers will take over. Hey, just a field goal here, Joey. You go up 2 scores with the ball coming out of the halftime. You got a chance to go up 3 scores before the Bengals even touch the ball again.
Yeah, it's not bad. You got to capitalize, though, right here before halftime.
2 tight ends here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be a 5-step drop for Rodgers. He's going to throw. Darnell Washington caught. Big gain. 1st down Steelers as he gets out of bounds, too. No, clock's still ticking, but no timeouts. What are we doing? How is that not out of bounds? Guess it was because he was contacted and he wasn't trying to go out of bounds. Is that why? Yeah, it's definitely what it was. Yeah, that might have been it too. But no timeouts being called here. Steelers still have all 3 of them as we get to around a minute to go. Another 2 tight end set from under center. Another 5-step drop for Rodgers. He will throw wide open. Caught again. Darnell, the same play. He sheds a tackle and gets out of bounds again. First down, Steelers.
Has Darnell been this hot all season long?
No.
Really?
I mean, what he has been doing the most, Joey, so far this season is playing fullback and being like a massive blocker, which I think Arthur Smith should do in real life. Trips left here for Rodgers in shotgun. He takes a snap, quick throw, caught. Muth definitely gets in the Chris Boswell field goal range. It'll be 9.5 yards, 2nd and inches coming up. Timeout called Steelers. Definitely in Chris Boswell field goal range here to go up 2 scores and give the Steelers offense a chance to go up 3 scores when they get the football back at the start of the second half. That's all I'm hoping for. If you get a touchdown, great. Makes your job easier coming out of the locker room, but just as long as they don't take a stupid sack or turnover here, I'm good. 2nd down and inches. Will they run here? No, they're gonna pass this. Rodgers throws, open receiver, caught DK Metcalf inside the Bengals red zone down to the 10-yard line. Let's go, baby. Clock continues to tick, though. No timeouts being called by the Steelers. Crowd's going crazy. Metcalf has his first catch of the afternoon. Keanu Benton's loving it. Here we go. Clock ticking, 22 seconds to go under center is Rodgers. Quick drop, throws quickly, caught short of the first down marker. No timeouts being called. Oh, they did call a timeout. 17 seconds. That's Bobby Trees on the catch. Quick shot from Rodgers. Steelers have 1 timeout to go and 17 seconds to get 2 yards to go up 14-0. They go with a bunch out to the left, out wide. Single receiver to the right, shotgun Rodgers. No tight ends. Takes the snap. Looking. Nothing there. Rolling to his right. Is he going to run it in? He dives over a defender. Touchdown, Aaron Rodgers. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. He jumps over a Bengals defender for the touchdown. That was the most athletic movement I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers make ever. As Boswell puts it up and it is good. 14-0 Steelers. What a start to this game. After getting absolutely destroyed by the Bengals just a few weeks ago, the Steelers are up 14-0, and they are a few seconds away from getting the ball back to start the second half. And all they need is a field goal to go up 3 scores. Wow, what a start, Joey. Yeah, I know. It's an invisible Mountain Dew. Touchback for the Steelers here. So the Bengals will take over at the 30. Jumbo formation here. I think they're just going to run it and run out the clock. No, they're going to pass this. Burrow throws quickly. It's caught, but taken down in bounds. I kind of doubt they used any timeouts. They're not going to. It's going to take us into halftime here. Ali with a 5s is what do you think the record? Wait, no, this isn't right. Okay. Hey, my man Fernando Martin says, let's go wave that towel. Have a great 4th. Appreciate you, Collapse Throne, otherwise known as Fernando Martin. By the way, Fernando, your jersey's on its way. You requested your Black Diamond jersey. I sent it to you, my friend, so hopefully that comes relatively soon. But Robert, another 10, says, slap that guy hard for me. That was the one that got us over the top. So we're $45 away here from banging the gong, just so you guys know. $45 away from banging the gong. But Trader Joey, it's time to come up here and get slapped, my dude. You want to send it full screen, actually? Send it full screen. Every $100 we get on the show today, I am slapping Ravens host Joey Peterson in the face with a tortilla. We already got 1 slap in. I'm gonna go even baked here. A minute each side, as the steak cookers will know. Oh, that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Yeah, no, the ear is the worst. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we got him good. Robert, appreciate the 10. I hit him hard for you, man. So here we go. We are underway in the second half in Pittsburgh. Steelers get the ball. They receive it from the 5, take it out, and they will take it to around the 29-yard line, I think is where it says. And here comes Aaron Rodgers. Steelers' offense has been super efficient, really running the ball well in this game. They got a bunch out to the right. Rodgers will take the snap from shotgun. Nothing there. Quick pressure. Broderick Jones gives up the sack to Trey Hendrickson. It'll be 2nd down and 19. I don't know, man. Probably 36 at least. Well, with Madden, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So maybe they paid him 45. And maybe in Madden, Mike Brown is magically like a billion, like a serious billionaire. Yeah, Mike Brown's a fucking joke. We all know that. All right. So not the best start to the second half for the Steelers. Broderick Jones. Yeah, 2nd down and 19 after the Broderick Jones allowed sack. They go shotgun here with Rodgers. 3 receivers, 1 tight end in the back. Rodgers looking. He's going to throw. It's caught. Pat Freiermuth will get a chunk of it back. It'll be 3rd down and 13. So unless Rodgers, I mean, Joey, you haven't seen a Rodgers bomb yet. Like he will throw like a Russell Wilson moon ball when he uncorks it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I've seen an Aaron Rodgers Cam Newton dive, but no bomb yet.
Yeah. Shotgun for Rodgers, takes the snap. Nothing there initially. Now he's going to throw off his back foot down the field, and it's caught! And there he goes! Bobby Trees! Touchdown, Steelers! Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Spam those trees! Let's go! There it was, Joey. We were talking about how you didn't see the bomb yet. That was a back foot dime from Aaron Rodgers to Bobby Trees. What a throw.
That was like a rail.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Boswell puts it up and good. 21-0. Steelers laid in an Acrisure.
It looked like he just split cover 2 perfectly right there.
I mean, I just looked like Robert Woods just burned the Cincinnati Bengals defense. I mean, unbelievable. Kicks away. Bengals take it from the 2. I don't think this is going to go very far. And a big hit by the Steelers defense there. Takes them down at the 27. So Joe Burrow and the Bengals are going to have to mount a serious comeback. It's tough with 5-minute quarters to come back from a 3-touchdown deficit. It's going to have to go touchdown, stop, touchdown, stop, touchdown for them to tie it. It's going to be a quick screen on the outside. Jamar Chase, he gets taken down. Great tackle by Joey Porter Jr. to beat the block.
I will say,
Holy shit, Joey.
I do think this is an accurate representation of Cincinnati's defense this year. I think they're going to be awful. The Bengals defense.
Yeah, they're going to be 3rd in the division. Again, because Joe Burrow had like an MVP caliber season. They still went 9-8. That's how bad their defense was. And they didn't get better. Shotgun, Burrow, kind of a funky formation here. He's just going to throw it to the receiver on the out route. Caught. Gesicki, 1st down, Bengals. Or no, that's Yoshivas, my mistake. So Steelers really doing a good job. Let's see if they can stop this Bengals offense yet again. But here from shotgun, 2 receivers set for the Bengals. Burrow takes snap from shotgun, throws quickly to his back, and there's Minkah again. What a game from Minkah Fitzpatrick. Getting, I believe this is a TFL. It is, a loss of 5 for the Bengals. Minkah Fitzpatrick had that sniffed out all the way. Something that's been kind of noticeable here is that Burrow has not really been throwing the ball down the field all that much. It's been kind of dinking and dunking. Shotgun, handoff. Here comes Brown, and there's once again the defense. That's Peyton Wilson with another Steelers TFL. This is a dominant performance from the black and gold and the Steelers defense. This reminds me a little bit of the Seahawks game, Joey, where they just completely are dominating their opposing team. Shotgun here for Burrow on a 3rd and very long. Takes the snap. Here comes the pressure. They're going to go quick screen to Chase Brown. They don't even trust Burrow to throw it down the field. Joey Porter Jr. takes him out of bounds. The Bengals will have to punt. Or maybe they go for it here, man. You punt this and the Steelers even get like 1 first down. You just don't have time to score 3 times.
I think with 2 minutes left in the third, 4th and 8, I think I'm going for it.
Yeah, I think I am too, but they're not because it's Madden and they're dumb. So Steelers defense does it again. Kick is away from Cincinnati. It will be fair caught. No, it's going to be going out of the back of the end zone, touchback, so they can't even get special teams right. Rodgers is pumped up, taking high fives as he heads back onto the field, absolutely dominating the Cincinnati Bengals this week so far. You will start under center in a 2 tight end set in a wing. 2 receivers on the field with 1 back being Warren. He's going to hand it off to Warren. He's going to pick up a decent gain of 3. Hat guy LTs. Elevate. If we can get his super chat on screen here in just a second here. Sounds good. Shotgun. Rodgers takes the snap. And he's going to throw it out wide. And it's going to be brought down short to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 3. So what you got in that first down, you lose there on that second down. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. Let's see if they run this and continue to kill clock or if they try throwing it here. They go out and shotgun with Rodgers. He'll take the snap. He's got time. He's going to step up, and he's going to try to pick it up with his legs, and he does! First down, Aaron Rodgers! The old man moves the chains. Oh, my goodness, man. That's hilarious. All right. Probably last play of the quarter, they go empty. Rodgers looking. He's going to throw outside caught. DK breaks a tackle, but he goes out of bounds. Gain of 7. Aaron Rodgers, 41 years old. I mean, maybe at this point in the year, I can't remember if he'll be 42. Picking up a 3rd down and 10 with his legs. Unbelievable stuff, man. I formation here on a 2nd down and 3. Run this thing. Yes, they will. They go Caleb Johnson. Breaks it outside again. Oh, he almost broke it loose. He picks up 2 yards.
North and south.
Yeah.
North and south.
Got to hit that cutback lane there, kid. It's the end of the 3rd quarter, heading to the 4th. 21-0. Steelers on top, beating the brakes off the Bengals here. Hat guy, LT says, you sending Black Diamond jerseys back to us? Yeah, we'll probably do something here where if you have a Black Diamond jersey, I'll be happy to send it back to you guys. So if you want to send me your shipping address, if you want to send me an email saying that you want your jersey, I'd be happy to send it to you. Under center, Rodgers, handoff. It's going to be a first down for Jaylen Warren. And, I mean, they're just bleeding the clock right now, Joey. It's just – this is embarrassing showing from the Cincinnati Bengals after, I mean – 4 weeks ago in our Madden simulated season, the Bengals beat the Steelers 24-10 in a game that wasn't even close. And now they haven't even scored a point, and the Steelers are doing whatever they want offensively. Shotgun Rodgers. He'll take the snap, and he'll hand it off to Jaylen Warren. Doesn't get much, though, just maybe a yard. Or actually 2 yards there. I think they're going to keep running it. Yep, another run. Jaylen Warren. It's going to make it 3rd down and manageable, about 3rd down and 3 coming up. They're going to go shotgun here. Let's see if they throw it. Nope, hand off to Jaylen, but it looked like there was a hole there. Doesn't get it. It'll be 4th down and 1. But at this point, you just punt it away. It's 3 minutes left to go in the game. This game is over. Who cares? No, it's not terrible. It gets to the 15.
Yeah, 15. It looked like it was going out about like the 20. So now Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals take over at the 15-yard line in shotgun. Burrow drop back, looking, firing. Got Chase Brown, but it's going to be a gain of about 2. Clock still runs. 26 seconds until that 2-minute warning. See if the Pittsburgh Steelers can still pitch the shutout.
So I see DJ KJ, Steelers dad, Elevate LTs, and Ali the Reaper want their Black Diamond jerseys. So I'll be happy to send those to you guys. I'm pretty sure I have all of your guys' addresses, but if you want to send it to me again on my email, feel free to do that. I'm at Sperry@chatsports.com if you guys want to confirm your address with me. Otherwise, I'll just send the jersey to the ones that you guys already have. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the Cincinnati Zebra jerseys here, Joey. Maybe that's the problem. Did somebody call a timeout here? Or 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go until injury? Shotgun here for Burrow. Takes the snap. He'll throw a quick screen short dart slant to Yoshivas. 2-minute warning. In Pittsburgh, 21-0. This game's over. But, let's just see if the Steelers can pitch a shutout here. That's really the big question. Or can the Bengals get on the board and avoid the complete embarrassment? This would be the second shutout that the Steelers defense pitches this Madden simulated season, if they can do that. He throws, and it is caught. Clock continues to tick, about 1:30 to go. Shotgun Burrow. Steelers defense. Now here comes TJ Watt. He's going to throw it out of bounds, incomplete. 2nd down and 10. So last game in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow activated his X Factor, Joey. And I think with his X Factor, he sees an open receiver immediately when they come opens. And with his accuracy rating, it was literally impossible for him to make an incomplete pass once that X Factor was activated. So that's why the Steelers lost. But this game, the Steelers defense haven't allowed Burrow to activate that thing. He throws, and it is caught. Nice catch by, looks like, T. Higgins. 1st down, Bengals. As the clock
looks like Cincinnati will burn a timeout.
I mean, why are we taking timeouts? Are they just that desperate to not get shut out by the Steelers?
I guess so.
Can we just go home? Can we just go home, Steelers? I mean, with this win, the Steelers will improve to 7-3 after starting 3-3. 4 straight wins for the Steelers. Bad throw from Burrow, incomplete.
4-1 with Aaron Rodgers?
4-1 with Aaron Rodgers. They lost their first game, and I remember Coop asked, do we bench him?
It was against the Bengals, right?
It was against the Bengals, and he didn't play his best game. He was rusty.
Pick 6.
Had a pick 6, a jump throw spinning pick 6, the most ridiculous play I've ever seen in Madden history. And Coop was like, do we go back to Mason? Because the Steelers had won 2 straight games with Mason. Good thing we didn't make that call. Quick throw to Jamar Chase. It is caught. 1st down, Bengals. Another timeout.
Come on, Cincy.
I mean, just can't quit.
You think Zach Taylor could be on the hot seat this year?
If they don't make the playoffs again, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. They got to make the playoffs this year.
They're it seems like they're just pissing away one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos of this century.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, Joe Burrow had almost 5,000 passing yards last year, and they missed the playoffs.
And Jamar Triple Crown.
Yes. It boggles the mind, man. Here's a throw. Good coverage from Beanie Bishop Jr. On the outside there, incomplete. Still 1:12 to go. For all the 200 people still watching, you guys are the real ones. Thank you for supporting our channel, guys. Just a quick reminder, we won't be doing any live streams next week. Cassie and I will be on vacation. We don't take many vacations, but we are taking one next week. And then we'll be back with our Madden streams the following week. What a throw from Burrow over the middle, caught by T. Higgins. First down, Bengals, and they look like they could be, making this not so embarrassing of a loss.
Sperry, where does 4th of July rank in your holidays?
Top 3 for sure. It's right up there for me because me and my family, we do a massive ping pong tournament at our lake house, and it's super competitive. We love it. We treat it like Wimbledon.
That's awesome.
We treat it like Wimbledon for sure. By the way, touchdown Bengals, and Jamar Chase is grittying when they're down by 14 and they're about to lose. Yeah. Fuck you, Jamar.
I think it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and then 4th of July.
Yeah. I probably would put it in that order too. Christmas is great. Thanksgiving's great, especially with the football now being a part of those holidays.
Oh, yeah.
I would probably say 4th of July probably ranks 3rd for me too. Plus, I'm a patriotic guy, man. I love the United States of America.
Who doesn't?
Well, yeah.
Well, we'll not answer that.
We won't answer that, but 21-7 with I don't even know how much time is left. It's less than a minute, probably 40 seconds or so. Oh, onside kick. What a catch by, I don't even know who that is. Who is that? Oh, Ben Skoranek goes up with the hands. And we are 1 knee away from Aaron Rodgers, or maybe 2, from sending this thing to 7-3 and 4 straight victories in our Summer Madden Series with Aaron Rodgers as the Steelers quarterback. And by the way, Joey, Rodgers is not like a fantastic quarterback, for the Steelers in this series. Like he's okay. And they're still winning all these games. So I think that goes to show my point that, like, if Rodgers can just be a serviceable, good player with the defense being an elite unit, and you have a good run game, this team can win as many games as they want to this year.
If he could just be somewhere in the middle of 2021 and 2024, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, exactly. And even 2024, the Steelers haven't had a QB stat line like that since Big Ben in 2014. Prime Big Ben, all right? And I'm expecting Rodgers to be better this year than he was last year because of he's more healthy than he was, and he has a much better defense. I mean, a lot of people don't know this because the Jets have Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, and they think that defense is awesome. They were 30th in the league last year in EPA per play given up after they fired Robert Saleh. It was a terrible defense, all right? They also lost at least 3 games last year because of missed field goals. Like, it was an absolute joke there in New York last year. And Rodgers takes a lot of that blame, but I think in a more stable situation here at Pittsburgh, it's going to be at least 10 wins. It could be more than that, and I do think that they will compete with the Ravens for the AFC North Division crown this year. And it's going to be a lot of fun between our 2 teams this year, Joey. That's my prediction. And I think the Bengals will disappoint again. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree. I think if anybody thinks the division's not coming down to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, I think they're wrong. Obviously, Cleveland's going to do Cleveland things. If anything, Cincinnati's defense got worse from this last year to this one.
Yeah, and they were like the worst defense in the league.
They lost their leading tackler. Trey Hendrickson might not be on the team. Their first-round pick might not be who knows what's going to happen, man?
Yeah, and when I hear people talk about the Bengals on ESPN, they talk about them because they have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They have to be a Super Bowl contender in their eyes. And it's just I think it's just so lazy to say you have a good quarterback and a good receiver and a good duo of receivers. Therefore, you're automatically a Super Bowl contender. And it's I understand Joe is good enough where he's going to elevate that team and that defense to a certain degree. He did last year. He was a big reason why they even won 9 games.
But he can't elevate it any more than he did because he played almost perfect.
Exactly. He played almost perfect last year, was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. If they would have made the playoffs, he would have won MVP. You compare his numbers to Josh Allen's, you can make an argument Joe Burrows had a better season. But the defense was so bad, and this year it's not much better. So when people tell me, oh, there's no way the Steelers are going to be better than the Bengals this year, I just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They were better than them last year with a worse offense with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and no run game here in Pittsburgh. They were better than the Bengals last year. So, Joey, it's been a lot of fun. Let's do some raffles.
Okay, so Walk me through these. Are we doing one for just the people today and then one for everybody in June?
No.
Okay.
So we're doing both of them in the same pot.
Both of them in the same pot.
Wheel.
Everybody from June.
Yes.
Great.
Everybody from June. All right. By the way, we are still, I think, about $40 away from hitting the gong. We're about $40 away from hitting the gong. So if somebody wants to send in a couple 20s, like if someone wants to throw up the lob with a 20 and somebody else comes in with the dunk, we can bang the gong to finish today's show. If not, no worries. We'll still do the raffle here, but this is last call. This is last call. I also want to check my Twitter followers. All right, we got a couple more to put into the raffle here, Joey. Max Carter, Zayden, Zaiden, and then Jose Esparza, Arza. Look at this wheel. This is every single raffle ticket that has been bought during the month of June we're going to raffle off the jersey first, all right? So get my email down in the L3 before we do this, Joey. I should. Coop uses it every show. If we don't, we should have one. All right. So we'll get my email up on screen here. If you win it, feel free to send me an email. Sperry@chatsports.com. If you win the jersey, reach out to me and let me know your shipping address and let me know which jersey you want. Size, color, and player. Best of luck to all of you guys. And let's see who wins it. CJ Ross wins the jersey. CJ. So Milton Sanchez is asking what my Venmo is. I am at Jack-Sperry, Milton.
I'll put it down below right now.
Cassie's putting it in the chat right now.
And it's at the bottom of the screen.
So that's my Venmo. All right, we're $40 away from banging the gong. All right, just so you guys know. But CJ Ross, congratulations to you, my friend. I have his information.
You've got his information?
I've got his information so we can.
Okay. Do you want me to remove all instances of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remove him because he's already got a hat, so there's no reason for him to be in the next one here.
Okay. You ready to roll? Second one?
Second one. Let's do it. Let's see who wins the hat. Let's
Boom.
Gary Frank wins the hat. Gary, I will get in contact with you, Gary. Appreciate you. He's one of the longtime viewers of the channel, man. Happy Gary won something today. All right, man. We're gonna give Milton a little bit here. Let's give him 3 minutes. Give Milton a 3-minute shot clock here. $40 away from banging the gong. All right, we're at $210 total dollars in donations today. You guys have been fantastic. You don't have to give any more. You guys have already made this an awesome Thursday, but $250 is our mark to bang the gong. So 3 minutes to get there. And if we can get there, we will bang the gong to finish off the week. Again, guys, as the countdown clock continues on here, we will not be here next week for live shows. We will have videos for you guys, and if breaking news happens, I'll go live from wherever I'm at. All right, we will make sure to get you guys up to date Steelers coverage next week. But I will be on vacation with Cassie next week. Okay.
Are we flying or driving? Because I know last time y'all went up to Minnesota,
driving.
You drove. Okay, gotcha.
Driving. Yeah. So it's gonna be a long drive, but we're used to it at this point.
We bringing Rosie?
Rosie is coming with, and she's okay with the drive.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, boarding a dog is so much. We're going to Montana with Kennedy's family. We leave on the 4th and come back the next week. And just for somebody to watch Applesauce, since we're flying out there, it's like $500.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So it's nice that, Rosie loves the car. She actually loves car rides.
That's awesome.
So, when we say you want to go on a car ride, she gets excited. So
that's great. Apple does not like them.
And she'll sleep in the car, and she'll be good. And really only thing you have to worry about is, when you stop for gas, taking her out and then giving her some water from time to time, and she's good. So
there we go.
We got about 2 minutes to go here. If we can get $40 in the next 2 minutes, we'll bang the gong for you to finish up today's show. If not, no worries. We don't have to bang the gong today, but you guys have been absolutely fantastic today and this week. Congratulations to CJ Ross and Gary Frank for winning the 2 items today. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man, because once we get back from vacation, we're going to finish up. I think what we're going to do is once I get back from this next vacation, all right, we got a Venmo coming in.
Here we go. Now they're rolling in.
So we got about another minute here. By the way, Milton comes in with a $5 Venmo, so we still need about $35 more if we want to bang the gong here. So shout out to Milton. Milton will put you up on screen here momentarily, but just so everyone else knows, we're a minute away. We're still $35 away from hitting the gong today. If we don't get there, it's no big worry. By the way, if someone puts in a 100 right now, how about 3 tortilla slaps for Joey if someone puts in a bang?
Deal.
All right, Joey says deal. If someone puts in a $100 donation, we'll do 3 tortilla slaps on Trader Joey to finish up today's show.
How about 2 and 1?
All right, 2 and 1. Fair enough. I've been doing the slapping today. Joey can get a little payback if we get a 100. All right. If we don't, like I said, it's not a big deal. We'll finish up today's show. And, hey, over $200 in the middle of a week in June, late June.
Take that any day.
We'll take that.
And then when you get back, it'll be close to training camp.
By the way, when I get back, we're probably going to go to 3 live shows a week. We'll probably go Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or from now on. We're going to have to figure out the schedule, but we got to get things going with the Madden season if we're going to be done by the time training camp rolls around. I'll give you guys a couple more seconds here. But Trader Joey, I just want to say, man, even though you're a dirty Ravens fan, we hate you. We appreciate you, stepping into Coop's shoes today over the last couple of days and helping out the channel. By the way, I made it a part of his contract here that he can't sabotage the show and mess up graphics, even though he did mess up one
Trey,
today.
that was on me.
Yeah, T for Trey. What was that about? But I think he did a pretty darn good job today. So shout out to Joey in the chat. You guys are absolutely fantastic. That'll be it for today's edition of Steelers Talk Live. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks when I get back from vacation where we get ready for the start of the 2025 Steelers season. So make sure you click that subscribe button for daily and informative Steelers content. Big shout out to Trader Joey for helping us out today. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.